Welcome, 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 guys, to my Love Island USA season 7, episodes 10, 11, and 12. Um, yes, guys. Oh, after with the After Sun episode. I'm here. I know you guys, I'm late, but this is what happens when they give us a 1 hour and 30 minute episode. Oh my gosh. So I'm here. We're going to chit chat about episode uh, 10 first. We're going to talk about the uh, bombshells coming in for the leather and lace challenge. And then we will discuss a little bit of After Sun. And then we will discuss the episode after the America's Vote. So right now I'll be alone. Hopefully maybe Miss T Joy or Chantel will join me. Otherwise it's just me tonight, guys. Happy to be back. My son's junior prom went off without a hitch, so I'm really happy about that. We really were able to give the kids everything that they wanted, and we got rave reviews, which is hard to do with teenagers if you know anything about teenagers. So I enjoyed my time on Friday, and so did my son. So very excited though to be back to chat these episodes. I was at the dance watching the show. Isn't that terrible? But I was like, I so wanted to see how everything was going to end up with the bombshells coming in. So I was at the prom chaperoning watching the show. But yeah, so I watched the show from there, and then I watched it again and took notes. But yeah, so we see the boys and the girls split off, and they're welcomed to the villa by, the bombshells really coming in the way they did. It kind of breaks your level of comfort, I feel. So they got the guys and the girls to basically come in and discuss their performance and get to know who they are a little bit. So the we find out Iris is from LA, and she is a spray tan artist, which I'm like, okay, what's a spray tan artist? I know, like, what's there's spray tan artists. Like, what do you do colors? Like, I don't know what a spray tan artist is. I know that from After Sun though, Callum needs to lay off of the spray tan. He looks so orange. So yeah. And then we see Pepe is from Madrid, Spain, and now lives in LA as well. And he's a retired pro basketball player. He owns an after school program and a gym, apparently. Hi, Boss Queen. Boss Queen says, hello, beautiful. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I know it's late. But yeah, welcome to the chat. Jalen, we find out, is from Sparta, Georgia, a small town, and he's a truck driver, and he drives big rigs and 18-wheelers. So right off the bat, the boys ask Jalen and Pepe who they liked kissing, and Pepe say, "Oh, it's difficult. I'm not sure." So he's hedging, and then Jalen says, "Oh yeah, Alandria." Yep. And so Taylor ITMs, I was hoping he wouldn't say Alandria. That would have made my heart feel better, but he said Alandria, so now I'm gonna need help for me to be able to take him down, because he's a big one. And Taylor cracks me up. He's like, he's nice and strong, so I mean, I got country strength, but I ain't got that. I'm a hooper. I've got hooper built. I was dying laughing. Taylor trying to explain. He's like, I'm strong. I'm not like his type of strong. Boss Queen says, did you see Pepe's ex said he lied about the gym and that he just works there? Yeah, I did read that. And I was like, not surprised. That happens so often. It's always, I own the gym. And when you find out that they don't own the gym, somebody else owns the gym, their friend owns the gym, they just have like client services that they have a business for inside the gym. Whatever. Boss Queen says, I love Taylor. I do too. I love Taylor so much. So the girls do ask Iris, who is her physical type. And she says, well, Nick would be her most physical type. She's more into personality, though. So she'll have to see who from the rest of the villa she would like to get to know. And Sierra says, of course, Iris is a catch. And everybody should be scared, but of course Nick is her physical type. So Iris asks everybody what is their situation, and Amaya says, well, she don't really have one. And Huda says, well, her and Jeremiah are together and that they're the strongest couple. And I don't know if you guys seen the photo of the still when she said that and all the girls are just like looking at her. And she's like, oh, KB's here. Hi, KB. KB says, hi, Mika. This episode had me cracking up. It sure did. Listen, but we're going to catch up to this episode. Sorry I'm late, but yeah, it was an hour and 30 minutes, but I mean, it went really quickly. I just had to take notes, but I was like, oh my God, like this is probably one of the best episodes, like, we've had in a very long time. So yeah, we see that who is it? Sierra's Huda is like, oh, she's in the strongest couple, and whether they are closed off, Huda says, well, we're not officially in those terms, but he doesn't want anyone else, and neither do I. So we're very happy. And I was like, you girl, because at this point they started promoting the vote and said that we were going to vote for the bombshells to couple up, and I was like, girl, you about to be on your Mackenzie. If you ever seen season 2 of Love Island USA, when we voted Mackenzie to get broken up from Connor with the new bombshell, and she just kept crying like, why is America doing this to me? Yeah, that's all I first saw. I was like, because none of this is true. None of that's true. KB agrees that this was like one of the better episodes ever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Iris says that she knows that there are some cracks where Jeremiah and Huda are concerned. So she plans to like slip through, and she wants to find a connection with somebody. So Pepe chats to Hannah, and she says she's still getting to know the villa. And she's open to explore. And I'm going to say this. I'm not the hugest fan of Hannah. I'm just not. I just don't care for her. Something about her, I don't care for. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't care for her. And so I was just like, I don't like care for this conversation, but listening to it, I'm just like, oh, she's really flirty, which is funny because remember, up until this point, they were like on TikTok and on Twitter and all, Hannah and Charlie, they're the strongest couple. We got to get them a date. I was like, no, you don't need to get them a date. The people who need a date is well, you know me. I was like Taylor and Thing because Alondra and Ace wasn't an option. So it's like, I mean, Shelly and Ace wasn't an option. So for me, it had to be Alondra and Taylor because no, but seeing her like as soon as the bombshell walked in, flirting it up, I was like, as KB says, Hannah is for the streets. Hannah, listen, I don't mind a girl exploring. I didn't mind Hannah's this season's Nicole. I didn't mind it when Nicole did it. Because personally, I didn't think that she liked Kendall that much. I don't think Kendall's her type. I think Cordell was more of her type, but I think she saw the connection with Serena and she was like, oh wait, no, like that's gonna be a waste of my time. She even said that the kiss between Cordell and her was so much better than Kendall's. So her exploring, I never really had a problem with. It was her complaining about her exploring. It's like, okay, girl, you chose to explore, so can we like why are we upset right now? And I fear she's definitely going to project Hannah, Nicole energy to me. KB says Hannah screams cheater. Oh, I mean, she kind of was seeming to allude to her being very toxic. So maybe that's what she means by toxic. I mean, she was the way she didn't skip a beat. She didn't skip a beat when it came to like switching to another man. So maybe, possibly. Rachel Marie is here, and Rachel says, hey, one Trumpy out, one to go. Exactly. Listen, guys, I'm a little euphoric. I know that everybody else out there is not necessarily euphoric, but I am euphoric because I had said, I don't know if you follow me on TikTok, I made a TikTok, and I had realized sometime when we're just yesterday was Sunday, so sometime on Saturday, I realized we should have been voting for Shelly to go with Pepe so we could get her away from Austin, and Iris with Jeremiah. And if y'all wanted Alandra with Jalen, that was on y'all. I did not do that vote because I knew that Alandra still wanted to explore with Taylor. So, and I don't trust Jalen because I was noticing stuff in this episode. And so I was like, I think I want him with Amaya. So I chose Iris with Jeremiah, Hannah and Pepe, and Amaya with Jalen. Now afterwards, I realized, damn, we should have all got on one accord and changed and like got Shelly to Pepe for now so that we could dump Austin. And we didn't think about it because that would have been the right vote. We needed her to know that we don't want her with Austin. Like, at all. So I think that was the only error we made with this vote. But again, we got to where we needed to get to. One Trumpy out. One more to go. Personally, I'm going to tell you why I think we got confused. The production, they doing some stuff here, but we need to figure out a way to get Austin out. It's going to be difficult, but we got to do it. Mary's here. Mary says, what are you doing? I am recapping episodes 10, 11, and 12 of Love Island USA. So welcome to the chat. Exactly, Mary. Production wanted to save Austin. You could tell by the things that they were doing. They were laying the groundwork with Ace and this thing of Austin is this great guy that we need to like protect. And I'm like, oh, that's what y'all are doing. So no, I'm not putting Ace with Iris. I don't care because I want if Shelly wants to choose him, I want her to be able to have the option to choose him. I don't know if Shelly will choose him, but I didn't want it to be a case where she didn't have that option. And so watching the edit and watching the little things that they were doing, I was like, oh, y'all won't trick me. But they did slightly trick us because they pointed us towards Hannah. And so if we had thought about it, we should have voted for Shelly to get away from Austin, and then Austin would have been a choice to be up to the vote, but we didn't think about it. But we did our job. We did a good job. We're going to talk about it. Boss Queen says, is it me or does Charlie Jalen kissing make you want to vomit? Wait, did they kiss together? Are you talking about together or with other people? Wait, let me know. Maybe I've been watching it on 2-3 times speed to take notes, so I might have missed something. Mary says, babe, I thought you wouldn't be doing the show. I know. The show was an hour and 30 minutes. So there's no way I can cover three shows tomorrow. So we're going to do it tonight. And then, yeah. And then, because Tuesday, I won't be here again because my son is graduating on Tuesday. So I will try to do an episode probably on Wednesday. But yeah. You want a Maya with Pepe. I see a Maya and Pepe, maybe. I wonder. I've been seeing her have chats with Jalen in the background, and the fact that he also chose her to kiss in tonight's challenge. I think Jalen likes Amaya. And it makes sense. I keep saying he's a Scorpio, so is she. And I think they vibe, and we're not getting to see those conversations on purpose. KB says, or we could have gone Jeremiah Huda Ola. Yes. Also an option. Also an option. Who would have that left? Yeah. Oh no, because then but Charlie and Hannah, I don't know who they would have voted for. It would have been between Taylor and nobody. It just would have been Taylor? I don't like those odds. They might have just dumped Taylor in that case. And that's not what I want. Rachel says, I don't trust Ola with Jalen or Taylor. I want her to get to Casa and for her to really evaluate both men's motives. I trust her with Taylor. I don't trust her with Jalen. And I'll tell you why during the recap. KB says, I wonder what would have happened if both people in the couple had been picked. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm a bit scared that they would have just dumped Taylor. I didn't think they were going to dump Taylor. I thought maybe they would have saved him because Peacock over the weekend had posted an entire video of Taylor, and then After Sun featured Taylor. And I just do think that they like Taylor as a person, which is good for people who like Taylor, like me. He also is running, he's been running 1 or 2 1, 2, or 3 on the app. So today he was number 2 behind Nick, and the last few times he's either been 1 or 2. So, and then Ola is 2 and Shelly is 1. Jalen is way at the bottom. Amaya is way at the bottom. So for favorite girl, favorite boy vote. Mary says, again, he is the Bergie because he didn't want the girls to choose and left Austin single in a normal recoupling. I agree. I think that's why we didn't get a normal recoupling. KB says, Jalen kisses like he's going to suck their whole face off. He needs to work on that. That's why Amaya held his face in tonight's challenge. Bosco says, when Jalen kisses anyone, it looks disgusting. Yeah. I don't care for his energy, but that's just me. Rachel says early congratulations to my son. Thank you. Yes, my one son graduates Tuesday, and then my other son graduates from high school on Monday the 23rd. So KB says, only place I want Maya is out. Oh, but she did her big one tonight. I'm proud of her. 3M Shaw says, hey, that person who called Jalen Charles, because people think Jalen looks like Miss Betta. Netta's boyfriend, Charles. Ooh. Oh, yeah, Netta. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't have an issue with his looks. I just don't, he's not ugly. Not at all. I don't like the tattoo that he has. The placement is weird to me. Um, like, why is it under your belly button, between your belly button and your pelvis? No. But I don't think he's ugly. I just don't like his. His energy is giving me like side eye. KB agrees he's a terrible kisser. Mary says, I'm extremely worried for Shelly. We know they're going to send at least one girl home next week. Again, it really kind of depends on where we are in the villa, because I just don't see Alandria and Taylor. If Alandra's with Jalen, Taylor will save her. Will save Shelly. That's why I was like, all these people are like, yay, Taylor's going home tonight. And I was like, and then they're like crying, oh my God, both of the people in Shelly's couple is gonna dump her. What are we gonna do? And I was like, y'all are the ones trying to send home Shelly's bestie who would save her. So I'm confused. Dreadful Ruby's here. Hi, Dreadful Ruby. Dreadful Ruby says, I love Amaya. She looks stunning tonight. KB says, Amaya's existence irks Ace, and that's the only good thing about her being in the villa. Botsky says, I believe a couple will go next week. Yeah, so we're even now, right? So Charlie went home, and then, so now we should be even. So they're going to dump couples. We have to get down to what, like maybe 5 couples, and how many couples would there be? Austin, Ace, Jeremiah, Nick. So I think we're like at 6 couples. Pepe, 7 couples. So they're gonna dump like 2 couples. Probably. Taylor is my guy. Drive for Ruby says, I agree. He's my favorite. Mary says next bombs are going to be 2 girls. I don't think they're doing bombs after this. I think it's going to be Casa. Because where are we? They're at day, 10, 12? 10, 11, 12? I think it's going to be Casa. Casa by the end of the week. So they'll do a recoupling. I feel like they'll do a recoupling on Tuesday. And then we'll vote on Tuesday. And then they'll come back from the recoupling. And then like Thursday or Friday, they dump 2 couples. And then next week will be Casa. I don't think they're going to bring in more girls. KB says it's too early. No, I'm not saying Casa will happen this week. I'm saying Casa will happen next week. So we need to do a recoupling, shuffle the couples back around, and then do a dumping, and then do Casa. So, like, that's a week. Mary says today was day 11. Right. So, Casa the last 2 years happened on day 16 and 17. So, I think that would be next week, right? KB says, no, I think they have enough time to bring another set of bombshells. Maybe. We'll see. 3M Sean says, I find Jalen extremely boring. I think Orlandra likes being pursued. I don't know if her and Jalen have a spark. I still haven't gotten a huge spark from Taylor or Orland. But Taylor's far more interesting to me. And I agree with most of that. Yeah. So we have Pepe chatting to Hannah, and she apparently is studying to be a doctor. She says she's smart. And Pepe said he went to the same school as her. And then we see Charlie is stressing about it. They go over their tattoos. Apparently, they have one of the same ones. And he says she's the first one he noticed when he walked in. And she said she's screwed because she's highly attracted to him. Iris pulls Nick for a chat, and she says he's her type, to a T. And he says she's his type, which we know, like he's into the blonde, right? She does have like very Bella-esque features. So yeah, he says she is his type, and we know he is her type as well. Sierra noticed them laughing. She doesn't know what's funny. And Nick says, Iris says that she likes to be spontaneous, and Nick says he likes the same thing. They both are coming out of long distance relationships, and he ITMs that he's having a difficult time concentrating because of her. You know, they were still wearing their leather and lace get-ups. But he says that she's very much his type, and it's going to make it difficult, especially with Sierra watching. So what I can't figure out is, does Ace want out of this Sierra thing? Is she that much not his type? Because I feel like he entertained Bella a lot, right? And is it just the physical type of Sierra, just not that physical type for him? But also Sierra, we know, was a lot more of a has more sexual history than Bella did, and it seemed to also be a pull for him. So I'm not sure if he's like trying to get out this Sierra thing or not. Can't figure it out. Does he like her? Does he not? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Mary says, I want Casa later because the Hannah Cassie episodes were a bore. I want them to create connections before they go to Casa. What do we actually have but Huda, Jeremiah, Sierra, Nick as the only real couples? Fair. KB says Nick is just fickle. I can also see that too. And so we see Jeremiah and Huda chat, and she's annoyed that the other girls are getting dates and that he needs to do more. And he said, and I was like, but didn't you just tell Iris y'all were the strongest couple? So how are y'all the strongest couple and he's not? Like, you have to tell him to do the same things that the other girls are getting. Huh, Huda? Please tell me. And so he says, are you serious? I've been processing a lot of information in the last few days with you having a kid, and you always have told me that I do make you feel special. And she says, well, you do, but she wants like little cute things because she wants them, she likes them. And he's like, okay, I forget the little stuff. And she says that she's going to say, she's just gonna say she's sorry because she knows he hates when she dominates. And he says, I don't hate it, I'm just not used to it. And we know he is, from his social media activity, pretty misogynistic, so he's definitely not used to it. KB says, Huda girl, you didn't require the man to court you. He accepted nothing, and you want more now. And she only wants more because she sees that the other girls are getting it. And again, she has this thing where she just wants to be, I feel like, in the best relationship in the villa. And so she is like, oh, wait, Alondra and Shelly are getting dates, and Shelly's getting a date from a man who's not even with her. Like, how dare he? Like, Jeremiah, you have to set it up. We're the best couple in here. Shanice is here. Shanice says not only did he give her nothing, she was praising him like he was the best guy ever. Yeah, like she set this up. You were going around to all the girls and everybody in the villa telling her how this is why you stay. He's the best thing since sliced bread. He makes you feel special. He's everything, and it's and his mother. He wants to move in with you. Blah blah blah. And now you're complaining because those things weren't really true. But she says she asked him if he liked her moves in the challenge, and he says yeah. She says she likes when her man is so obsessed with her. And the Jeremiah be forgetting and doesn't do as much. And she wants the princess treatment that everyone is getting. And he says to her that he's mad that she gave him a hickey. So we see that she's marking her territory. I feel like she set herself up for failure. And we've been saying this. We've all been saying this since I feel like day one. She has set herself up for failure. And this is not about her having sex with him or anything like this. She required nothing but a pretty face. She required nothing but him being a pretty face. And some breakfast. And now she realizes, oh, there's more things that he could be doing for me. And so now he shit out of luck because she's just gonna nitpick and complain about it. So Mary says Ace wanting Huda out, but if Huda left, they would be too. Oh wait, I'm gonna come back to that. KB says these people are saying you always, after knowing each other 11 days, is wild to me. It's so funny because that I know that in the villa it's a compressed time, and it feels like that it's so much more time. But when you start to see these things, you should be like, oh wait, it's not that much time. I need him to really get to know me and understand me and feel me, right? Like feel what I want and what I need and really learn me, and not in a sexual way. Because I mean, to be honest, you could teach a man most times how to meet your sexual needs. If not, you find a different man. But I feel like, I think I said before, I feel like you need a person to like you as a person and to get to know you as a person. And that's the only way you'll actually be able to build a really good, solid foundation of a relationship in order for you guys to go to the next steps. KB says Huda fails to realize she set the standards in hell and she got what's coming to her. Other men are doing more because their girls required them to do more, and Huda's didn't. Exactly, KB. And Huda and Jeremiah never had any conversations with depth. It's all physical, and her toxicity is on display, and that's the issue right now. She's the problem is because it's so much of her genuine, I feel like, personality, she isn't seeing that she set herself up for failure in this relationship. She did. Alendra and Jalen chat, and he says it's his first time out of the country. He's from a small town, and he left his small town and moved to Augusta. And she had, oh, how was that? And he said, I cried. And Alendra says she gets it. She's from a small town too. And Ace says to Taylor, he needs to step it up even more because Jalen's even more country than him. And his accent is stronger than his, which I thought was very funny. And Alendra asks, who caught Jalen's eye? And he says, her, of course. She's like, okay, as you should. And what you call it, Shelly. And she's like, okay, so you like the Black Queen. And Ace is saying that to Taylor that no matter what, Taylor and Alondra just have to be secure in what they have. And Jalen asks Alondra how her and Taylor are. And she says, they're good. She also accidentally says, I love him. And then she changes, I like him a lot. And I was like, Freudian slip. And he asks, "Are they in bed together?" She's like, "Well, oh, look at you." And she's like, "Well, I have to ask." And she does confirm they are. And Lendra ITM, she's generally interested in Jalen. She's not closed off, and Taylor knows that she loves a countryman. And then supposedly she says she's picking out her wedding songs, so that's all her when it comes to Jalen, and that she's excited. These people took all of that to say that she was so into Jalen. I took all of that to she was excited to be in a potential love triangle. Lou is here. Hi, Lou. Lou says their relationship was toxic, but voting Huda out because they were in some sort of triangles. BS. Both Nick and Ace have been messy in their couples, and Huda is supposed to act like them. I think not. I don't think they voted her out because she wasn't in a triangle. I think they voted her out because not only is she not exploring, but she's not like Nick was asking her, rightfully, I think so. Jeremiah, if you're on the outside, is her behavior of being so territorial going to be the same with what we're seeing? Are you going to allow that? And he's like, I don't know, I have to see. But to me, I think they all kind of took it as that's not really something he would do. The fact that he's complaining about it even while they're in the villa anyway. So I don't think that it, and then also Nick also knows that Huda has a child. So I think he's just like, I don't think this environment is the right one for her. I think he wants to explore, and America sees that, and she's not letting him. We voted her out, and I think they voted her out because they realized that her behaviors aren't where, like, for this experience, they're not healthy. They're not healthy for in the villa, and they're definitely not healthy to take outside of the villa. Mary says thousands of girls to let Jeremiah to decide. Low key, he's her toxicity. I do think that Jeremiah has some toxicity, even though we do see later him saying no. But yeah, KB says that's not why folks voted her. They all see her toxicity. She's a liar, control, insecure, territory. Well, no, she's talking about Nick and Ace, and I don't think Nick and Ace voted her out because of they feel like she should be in a triangle. KB says all the people show signs of red flags, but Huda is also delusional, and her behavior could have an impact on not just her and Jeremiah, but also her child, and it's concerning. That's what I think was like on Nick's head, right? And I think with Ace, he just feels like that both of them are playing the game. I think if it was Jeremiah up there, his ass would have voted him out too. So, we do see that she confirms that she is not closed off with Taylor. And so there's that. And then Amaya chats with Pepe. She says she's been through a roller coaster of emotions. He says he's Spanish and Cuban. She confirms he's full Dominican. She got a lot of younger siblings, and Amaya thinks that God answered her prayers. She's in love with Pepe. He's very hot. She does confirm she's coupled up with Ace, but they don't get along. It's like mixing fire and water. And I said literally, because literally she is a Scorpio, which is water, and he is a Leo, which is fire. And so literally that is what their situation is. But they aren't sleeping together. He's sleeping outside his soul ties. Now, the thing with Pepe and Amaya, Pepe did this like TikTok where it said like blondes he likes, and then he said like Latinos he likes, And then he says Latinas he likes the most. So I'm not sure if Amaya falls into the category that he would outline as Latinas, but we will see. Nighttime arrives and Iris tells Jeremiah she went to pull him for a chat, but Huda implied that they were closed off. Jeremiah says, no, it's okay. You could pull me for a chat. Taylor notes that Alondra was cheesing and she keeps trying to test shit. And Nick says she better step up her game. And this to me, I felt like he was genuinely being territorial. He's like, oh, she's gonna lose me. And I think it's because he really likes her. But Alondra though says she's excited. She loves herself a countryman. She asks Hannah about her chat, and Hannah says, "Oh, it's good." And they both confirm they didn't kiss Jalen or Pepe. Alondra says, "Yeah, we were in all the fields, so it was too open, but we'll see." Shelly notes that I bet Austin is still up waiting for me. And Alondra said probably. And she notes that Ace has got to be salty. And Alondra notes that Shelly is in a pickle. Now, I do feel like just from hearing her say this, I'm like, Shelly does not like Austin. I just don't feel like Shelly likes Austin, because if you know that the person in your couple is up waiting for you, shouldn't that be an exciting thing before bedtime? Maybe it's me. I just feel like you would want to be excited about being in bed with somebody. KB says, technically, Beldasha did that to herself. She chose to be on a show that doesn't align with her morals, in my opinion. The premise of the show is going to be a conflict. Okay. Oh, yeah. Didn't Nick cost Beldasha her morals? I don't think he cost her morals at all. Jeffrey Ruby says, I can only hope for Huda that seeing herself on the show, hearing feedback from audience, hopefully friends and family, helps her mature faster than I think she needs therapy, personally. I think that she needs heavy duty therapy. She's very insecure. We're going to talk about what she asked him, but she's very insecure, and that's not a good look. I think it's Al. Al says, I agree with what you said about Huda, Nick, and Ace, that this is not what they said. They said that she was not getting to know other guys. She did not want other guys. Right. And we saw last season, that was also the choice that was made, that Andrea did not stay in the villa because everybody's like, she's not up for exploring, and we're still all exploring. So she's taking up a spot in the villa. If they're meant to be, they can see each other on the outside. Again, I personally think Ace's thing is, then Jeremiah could follow her if he's really into her, because why y'all still here? And I think that's why they were basically like, and again, remember, he's the one who thinks that Jeremiah is playing a game. He wasn't saying Huda was playing a game. He just thinks that she's playing into Jeremiah playing the game, that he is like she's not exploring herself. And so I think Ace would have been like, well, Jeremiah, you don't like it. Your girl got dumped. You go with her. Just like the whole Rob thing last season. And Andrea. And I feel like that I can kind of agree with that. Mary says, and Jeremiah chose to be with Huda. I just feel like people are against Huda, just as against Huda seeing people posting stuff. No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, I don't think a lot of us see that this is like a Huda finding a person that it was not a toxic relationship. I don't think anybody would be doing this. Huda not withholding information, Huda not being territorial. I think it's the overall toxicity of how she is doing this experience is not helping people jive to her staying in this villa. And it doesn't have, I don't think it has that much to do with the fact that people just don't like her with Jeremiah, because I just think it's that she is being like, she's not taking this experience in the way it should be. Jennifer Ruby says Shelly knows going only for Ace risks her place in the villa. Exactly. I keep saying that to people. I don't mind Shelly continuing to explore. She should. Because she had, like, I would not sit there and be stuck with Austin, and I definitely wouldn't be up there stuck with Ace. And Jennifer Ruby agrees she's definitely going to need therapy. Mary agrees as well. She's going to need therapy. And Jennifer Ruby says coupling up and hitting it off would be fine, but it's all the toxicity that's around that relationship. Absolutely. And KB says, I think Ace thinks Huda is also a phony. Ace has been copying. I agree. I think he thinks that she's a phony, but I think he thinks it's for two different reasons, like I do. Like, I think he realizes that Jeremiah might be playing a game to win, and Huda is like a mark that's also playing a game, because he keeps calling her fake, right? He keeps calling her phony because she wants to be liked. I think he also did it to prove a point. We can fucking vote you out. We don't have a problem doing it. Don't sit here and be fake to us. Don't sit here and placate us. Don't sit here and do mean shit to us and be nasty to us, and then think that you being fake and phony, two-faced to our faces, and then behind our back, we're not going to call you out and vote you out. I think that's why he did it. And also, I agree with him there. He says, don't take me overly seriously. I take this as just a dumb reality show. I do too, but I do see factors in that. This experience could impact Huda when she comes out. She's a child. It's a lot. There's people like going in her ex's posts and do like on her post, going to her friends saying bullshit. I'm not up for that. And I want to genuinely like Huda. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I think she needs therapy. I do. KB says two things can be true. They can think that she's not open and also see her toxicity. They chose the easier, palatable reason. That's why they picked Huda to boot. I agree. Glenn is here, and Austin says if the boys pick next, I think Austin picks first and picks Shelly, and she can get away. Can always get someone in casa. I just don't know. I don't trust Austin either. But to be fair, I do think unless a white girl comes in that will go after him, he probably would take Shelly to at least casa. So we'll see. So we do see that this was funny. Amaya thinks she has a crush while everybody's gone from the villa makeup room, and Taylor asks Alondra, why is she so happy? And Alondra says, I think he does rodeo too. And Taylor's like, nuh-uh, he ain't that country. And so then we do hear Huda, which is what I'm saying, why I have concerns. Huda is saying to Jeremiah if she needs to worry about him, even if he hasn't asked her to be his girlfriend on the outside. And he said, we're together. No. And I was like, again, Jeremiah uses his words carefully. If we're together, no, but I just don't think that they're going to be together. And he's like, she's like, well, can you share your location with me? And he's like, no, I don't know about that. I don't like that. And she says, well, she has a hard time trusting people. I'm scared they will leave me. But then they continue to make out. All of that is the reason why I'm just like, this is not good, because I just don't think this man is going to stay with her. KB says Nick also told Jeremiah he didn't think Huda liked Jeremiah as much as he liked her, and Ace was over there nodding on a bobblehead. Yeah, I did remember that, and I'm just like, I'm not sure why you see him, but also guys see things differently than we do, so I don't know. Mary says, honestly, Huda has been nice to the boys, and the girls should be the ones mad at Huda. They saved her. she has not been nice to the boys. If you remember the very first recoupling, she was very nasty to the boys. And truthfully, she's not been very kind to them since then. She's not been kind to the girls that come in. She's just not, the Huda has not been kind, guys. And I'm not saying she has to be kind, but it helps. And I do feel like they picked up that she's fake. I do. I do think that a lot of the villa has picked up that she's fake. I noticed that she no longer really is in that major girl group of Shelly, Alondra, and Sierra. It's mostly Shelly and Alondra, and with like a side piece of Sierra. And then she's gravitated towards Amaya. And then Amaya has like Hannah. So it's like, well, the girls are all really like, one group. I do think sides have been chosen, whereas I think in the beginning it was more of a Alondra, Huda, and Shelly, until that first recoupling, and then her trying to intimate that Alondra's being bullying her, mean to her. And so while it does feel like maybe she has some pull, she is not the queen of this villa. I think that's Alondra, personally. I think she has the most connections to everybody in the villa. Everybody comes to her to advice. Everybody comes to her man for advice, right? Like, everybody comes to her or Shelly for advice. The person who comes to Alondra for advice, Shelly's the person Shelly goes to advice to is Alondra. So that says to me that she has the highest hierarchy in the villa. And Sharnice points out her behaviors have been terrible, not only with Jeremiah, but with everybody. She's completely unhinged. I mean, I understand, like, you might think that they're waving off her, calling every girl that comes in a bitch, but I don't think they are. I think they're taking notes, and I don't think they necessarily like it. Everybody doesn't like when everybody talks to them that way. And I do think that they're making notes about that. Jennifer Ruby says Casa will be stuck with people for Shelly. It would be nice if they sent in a woman or two for her even. I agree. That would be so cool. KB says, yeah, I think they'll make sure to bring in a couple guys that are more Shelly and Sierra's types. I agree. Mary thinks Huda, that one who pulls a Mackenzie, and Jeremiah stands there with the teddy bear alone. I don't know if I see that, but I mean, I'm not gonna write it off. It's possible. And KB points out Huda's been a hassle to a lot of people, just about everybody. She ain't even nice to Jeremy. She isn't. Charlize agrees. And yes, Dread for Ruby, Bella seemed to be her closest friend, and Bella's gone. So again, when you pick off that hierarchy, there's a way that you have to navigate what's left in the villa, like the villa cohesivity. And it's very telling Amaya's vote tonight, right? Like, again, she could have voted anyway, but she voted a certain way because she knew that the least impact was for Charlie to go, for her, because of how the hierarchy of everything lands. Strategically, if she is friends with Shelly on the outside, Shelly is best friends with Taylor. Taylor's possibly going to go back to Alondra. Alondra was down there devastated that she thought that Taylor was going to go. So it's like, that's at least 3 people right there who would have been upset at her. Ace would have been upset at her. Nick would have been upset at her. So at this point, she would have been in the pits of hell in that villa. Whereas right now, one person's mad at her. Hannah. One person. So she can smooth that over, but it fucks up her entire world if she votes out Taylor. Her entire world in that villa. And to be honest, I think she wants Jalen or Pepe. So if Hannah don't want Pepe, she would get to know him. If Jalen and Alondra doesn't work, she would get to know him. And I just don't think she wanted Charlie. And he and Hannah were basically screwed. So, and KB agrees. Amaya could not say Taylor. Ace and Nick would have been pissed. Alondra bothered. Exactly. So she did the right thing strategically. And that's the difference between her and Huda. Huda is not strategically thinking about certain things in the village. She's being fake about, like, oh, we're all sisters and this and oh, her thing going to Ace and saying, I just didn't want to have to kiss Amaya. And then her going to Amaya, I just didn't want to have to pie you. I'd rather pie him. Those things are coming off as fake. They are. And also, I agree with Dreadful Ruby here. I do think that Charlie trying to go for her when she did left a bad taste in her mouth too. And I agree with that. I do think that she realized that the least impact of this was to let Charlie go, because he was just going to cause a tit for tat going forward. Because at this point, we're not seeing that Hannah is going to not do what she did in the villa continuously. Dreadful Ruby is like, says that Jalen is good looking, but I'm not feeling it for Alondra. Yeah, he's not bad looking. I just don't trust him with Alondra, and I don't think she likes him. And we'll discuss it a little more. And KB says Amaya could have picked Huda, but she seems to be more of the girl's girl that Huda thinks than Huda thinks she is. Yeah, I agree. I think she's more of a girl's girl. I also think she's gotten very close to Huda. So, Amaya. Dramatics cracked me up. Then Hannah started crying. I was like, what the fuck? KB says Charlie was the best option. She knows that Hannah is being fickle, and Hannah's going to put up the show and be back to Mountain Pepe by the time Charlie gets on the flight. Exactly. The path, the least resistance was Charlie for Amaya. It really just was. It was the most strategic thing that she could do in this villa. It leaves Taylor open to go back to Alondra, which, if she really wants Jalen, gives her Jalen, right? So at the end of the day, she could potentially get one of the two people that she wants to be in a relationship with, and then she also still has all her friends in the villa, and she stayed on code. She didn't vote as a black person. KB says, nah, that entire Pirate Pit scene will be classic for the show. Too good to be. That was so good. But we'll talk about it. All right, let me finish up this episode. So we do see that in the morning, Nick tells Sierra that he's going to make Iris breakfast, and Sierra mentions it to Shelly, and Shelly's confused. She's like, as a friend? And Sierra's like, yeah. Alondra mentions that Taylor was very handsy the night before, and the girls was like, ah! I did think that he was, but to be fair, I think it was coupled up with that, like, she looked so good the night before with the leather lace. I'm sorry, she looked unreal. Like, she looked the best of everybody in that room. So again, if we're all saying like they're progressing, I would think and hope that he would want to touch on her booty at least. Please. It was looking really good. So, proud of him, because that's what he should be doing. The girls were just also doing that. That's what he should be doing. Jeremiah brings Huda breakfast, and she says, what took you so long? And he's like, I have to take a turn on this. There's a lot of us, we all have to take turns. And so he says he has to take, he leaves the breakfast, and then Jalen and Pepe check in with each other. Pepe mentions that Hannah and him had a really good conversation, and that Huda, So then Huda notices that her pancakes are not all the way cooked, and she's upset. And the girl says, well, don't eat it. You'll get sick. And they said, you need to say something to him. And she says she's just going to make herself a better breakfast. And then we see that Nick has set up a meditation date with Austin for Alandria and Taylor. Now, I understand that people are upset about this, and I don't get why. But I've seen a lot of people who are upset at the fact that the guys are helping each other plan dates. And I'm just trying to figure out, what do you want them to do? Because if they don't help them plan dates and production doesn't help them plan dates, how are we getting dates? And I'm I've been trying to like point out, I think this is normal behavior with men. They ask their friends for help, like what to, if especially, I just don't think that it's Taylor's um forte. He says he's a gift giver, but you could see that acts of service is also his big thing. And so I do feel like he's probably gifting an acts of service, and so he was doing in the beginning the things that he could do while he's in the villa. He can't go out and buy her gifts, but also I don't think he knows how to think outside the box to think of what can he do in the villa for dates with her. And so the guys are helping him do that and helping each other doing that. I think that's normal behavior. I really do. We see men have people help them plan proposals all the time to make it perfect for their girl. Why is him planning dates an issue? I'm just so confused. Dreadful Beauty says, I think Taylor is intimidated by Alondra. I agree. And isn't someone with natural riz and whatever the kids say these days. Add to that, her being a slow burn, I give him the benefit of the doubt. That has been my thing the entire time. So apparently somebody said in one of the, like a TikTok somebody did, because they were insinuating he likes white women. And the person said, I went to college with him. He likes black women. and somebody's like, oh really, because that's not what it's giving. She's like, like when it comes down to it, he's just an awkward black guy, guys, but he likes black women. I went to college with him, and we do know he pledged a black fraternity, which usually does date black women. I just don't think he's ever had a baddie like Alondra. And to be honest, yeah, like I think it intimidated him at first, because she's also saying like, I don't, I want to explore and I don't want you to touch me at first. And now she's like, no, I want you to touch me. And he's like, okay, well now what do I do? How do I get there? Because now I'm not there and I'm also a slow burner and I can't like do the things that I would normally do to like build those intimate moments. So what do I do? What do I do? And I think the guys are just easing him into how he does that, because I just don't think it's a natural thing for him to have that kind of risk. But Nick and Ace, I do think, have it. So those are who's helping him. Dreadful B says, yeah, I like the little dates. And KB agrees too. I do like the little dates. And we see that the girls seem to really like the little dates. Mary says, I think he needed somebody his age, a sorority, 22-year-old party girl. I mean, he's 25 and Alondra's 27. So that's the 2-year age difference. I don't think that's that big of a deal. Like, I don't think that's that big of a range of difference. To like, it's not like he's like 20 and she's like 27. That I think is a big disparity. Like, you might definitely like different things, but they're like 2 to 3 years apart. I don't think that's that big. So we see that Iris is telling the boys that she's gotten the egg from Jeremiah. He's walking around with a hickey, and that Huda is marking her territory. Nick mentions that Shelly, Ace, and Austin are in a triangle, and Ace says that there is no triangle. Shelly knows where home is at the end of the day. And people were pissed that he said this. But to be fair, in the next episode, Shelly's basically like, no, I like that about Ace. And they laugh. Huda begs Taylor for him to help her make breakfast. And Ace sets up a date for him and Shelly, and it's a yoga date led by Nick. They go to the moves, and he does a few little sexual moves. Shelly thinks that Ace is thinking outside the box, which she likes because she's very spontaneous. She doesn't like her days to be routine. Um, and Jeremiah and her chat, and she tells him to eat all his breakfast. He rolls his eyes and says, "Okay, mom." And she tells him, tell her to make her breakfast because hers was on the cook, and that shouldn't happen. And he's frustrated because he feels like he can't meet her expectations. And she basically implies that he's less of a man because he's allowed another man to make a breakfast. And Jeremiah ITMs, he doesn't get how he messed up this big, um, and also why he can't meet her expectations. And Huda says these are the little things that matter to her, and Jeremiah kind of mocks her and laughs, and she says that annoys her, and she leaves. Now, I kind of see things on both ends of the spectrum. Like, I get where Jeremiah's coming from. They need to communicate more, but again, they did not put in enough work to really understand their communication styles in order to meet this moment. And so I get it, but also don't fucking undercook her breakfast. Like, what do you? That means that you were rushing. But I also told you guys for about 3 episodes now, I think he hates her, but that's just me. Mary says, I do think we expect Taylor to be acting like a man. He's not going to get everything. Guy, he's still learning. But I think Ola wants somebody who doesn't need to learn. And that's fair. That's possible. I can see that. Jeffrey Ruby says, someone Austin went to school with said, and as I expected, that he sends a lot of unsolicited eggplant pics to everybody, which is gross. Yes. I need him out my villa. Ugh. So we do see that Huda says, Huda walks away. Jeremiah chats to Nick and Charlie about it, and Huda's chatting to the girls about it, and says, "Well, he promised to step up, and he's now saying that that's not what he said." He wonders if he should pivot. Jeremiah asks the boys, and the boys agree that there's nothing official. It's been 10 days. And so there's other opportunities. And I think that that's also what they were thinking about. They've been encouraging him because he's complaining. They've been encouraging him to get to know other people, get to know Iris, get to know other people to really truly see if this connection is the right one, because it doesn't seem like it's a healthy relationship. So I just don't think that it was so much of we just want her to be in a triangle. Lou says, I hope Amaya makes it to Casa more. She impressed me when she turned down Charlie for a friendship with Hannah. Yeah, she did. That's what I said. People are mad at her. Like, oh, after all of that, she still voted out her friend's man. But I was like, well, her friend made a decision that impacted her relationship. And at the end of the day, he wasn't going to get what he wanted out of it. And she also had to think about herself and what was best for her friend. Charlie being there was not going to help her. Charlie was doing things. So Hannah was doing things, and then Charlie was doing tit for tat stuff. And it was just toxic. It really was. And I just don't think the other ones she was going to ever vote out. So, where are we saying? So we do see that Iris pulls Jeremiah. Huda mentions the girls that their conversation in Soul Ties about her basically telling him to like step it up, do little things. She wants dates. She wants little things that the girls are getting. And Iris asks him what about himself, and we find out he likes competitive Uno. Who knew? Jeremiah says that he's not going to let his current issue cloud him to automatically get to know Iris. So we do see Pepe and Sierra chat, and they talk about career, how much they love kids. He says she's his type, that she's the one that he came into the villa looking to get to know, and he says she's very beautiful. And she says that him getting to know her, it's something that she's happy about, but she will see. So we see Taylor and Alondra do their meditation date. I was dying laughing when he was like told to like move obstacles out the way, and he's like Jalen, Jalen. He's hilarious, and I thought that was so cute. A lot of your questions though, whether she's seeing what she's seeing is genuine from Taylor or not, or is it because the bombshell is there? And I was like, if you don't trust him, that's concerning. So maybe we do need to like shake you guys up and put you with Jalen, because maybe you need to build that trust that with Taylor, that he's gonna still go after you when he has the opportunity at that point to explore any other girl, but he's still going after you, right? So I was like, we'll see. Like, we're going to give you someone else to explore. Let's see what you do with it, Alondra. Because if you don't trust that Jalen's being genuine with you, that's a concern. Then again, we heard Cordell say the same thing about Serena before their recoupling, and then we saw what happened. It wasn't really how he was feeling. He just, I think they sometimes they tell them certain things to and ask them certain things, and these are the sound bites that they get. That's also possible. But as I was taking what she said in the ITM and I'm saying, okay, so maybe that's the case. Maybe you're not like feeling he's genuine about it. And so let's see how you will feel when you have to be with somebody else and it's taken out of your hands and you jeopardized your relationship with Taylor to potentially be done. Um and so they go up to the sun deck and he asks her what she thinks, and she says she loved the date, it was creative, and he says he's got a couple of things up his sleeve. And Shelly arrives to chat to her besties, as she calls them. And then we see Ace and Iris are chatting and what? Ooh, sorry. She says marriage is her non-negotiable. And both of her parents are divorced, and so are his. So they do find some commonalities. He also says he wants to get married. Shelly says her situation with Ace is so straight, as Ace and Austin is so stressful. She likes them both for different reasons. Says Austin is more intentional, as the big dates. Ace is doing his big one though, and she loves shit like that. But that her and Austin have also started cuddling, which we saw. And I do feel like, hey, if you can't make a decision, isn't that a decision? Maybe this decision is that neither one of them are the right person for you, Shelly. I definitely don't think Austin is the right person. And while I do think her and Ace have a lot of chemistry, I just don't know if Ace is in the right headspace that she is in. So while the dates are great or whatever, I just think that maybe she needs to find somebody else. And which it's not here right now. Iris asks Ace what's his situation in the villa, and he says he's open to getting to know her. And they both agree a relationship with after 3 dates is crazy. But Ace mentions he's so used to being that way, he would do the world for everybody, and in the end he doesn't do that anymore because he wasn't getting what he wanted. He does say that he's excited that she came in, and he looks forward to getting to know new people. Iris knows that they had a deep conversation, and he's really easy to talk to. Ace ITMs that he's shocked that he can't even find the words of how well the conversation went. He's excited to get to know her. So, I mean, I'm not really seeing. I see energy. I feel like Ace has energy with everybody. I'm not necessarily seeing a spark. Like, I'm not feeling like, oh, I want to see them kiss, which is always how I feel with him and Shelly. So, Huda and Amaya chat, and she says Jeremiah needs to act right. If he's not doing enough, Amaya is shocked to hear this. And of course, Amaya is shocked to hear this. Huda goes around telling the girls that Jeremiah is the next thing since sliced bread. He is the prince. He is the best man in the villa. So she very rarely tells the girls the truth. So now she's just like questioning whether he actually likes her, and she feels like she doesn't care how fine he is or how attractive he is. She's going to leave him if he doesn't step it up. I personally think that it's empty words. I'm not feeling that that would actually happen. They note that he's probably not a romantic, and she's a romantic, and he's rubbing it in her face that he's not a romantic, and that the biggest thing he's doing for her is making her breakfast. And she's like, but that's bare minimum. He hasn't planned anything for us, and he's going to lose her if he doesn't stop it. And Huda ITMs, she's not going to keep begging him. So nighttime arrives. Iris is asked about the chats, and she says that she had really good chats with Ace, and she was very surprised. Ace tells Taylor about his surprise at how well their conversation went, but don't say anything to his bestie because he's still planning on how things are going to go. So we see Shelly says that she sees Taylor was applying pressure today to Alondra. And Alondra said she's still trying to figure out where Taylor really is. She doesn't feel like he would actually tell her. And so her head is spinning. And then we see Jalen saying that he plans to talk to Alondra that night. And so, as I was saying earlier, I had noticed in the background, Jalen was talking to Amaya a lot. They went to the pool together. He was sitting in all the fields talking to her. He not once that morning pulled Alondra for a chat. And I feel like there was open times where he could have came and said, hey, Alondra, can I pull you a chat? To really get to know her, to really have conversation with her, to really dive deeper into whether or not they have a connection. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. And so at this point, I'm side-eyeing him because I'm just like, if you came in for Alondra, why didn't you do that? But I just don't think he actually only came in for Alondra. I think that's what his thing said because that's what the producers wanted us to hear. Alondra, though, is conflicted. And so we do see the guys ask Pepe about his chat with Sierra, and he says it was good. And Jeremiah confronts Taylor about the pancake business, and Taylor says, no, she asked me to make them. And so Jeremiah's upset. So we do see there's a bit of a truth or dare game. Austin and Shelly do dare, and they do imitate sex moves. Again, I feel like Austin is very much going through the motions with Shelly because the difference between him imitating these sex moves with Shelly, that should be like, if you like this girl, they should be a lot more like actually sexual. Like I should feel uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, get a room. I was feeling uncomfortable because it was awkward. And so I feel like when he did it with Hannah, there was more like something there than this. So we do see Nick and Iris chat again, and he says he's really interested in getting to know her. And he's like, oh, I just got out of a triangle, but might be going back in. Sierra is also worried as well. She says that it's Iris says that she has chemistry with Nick similar to Ace. And then we see Pepe and Sierra chat again, and they really vibe, and she feels like that each connection is a different connection. So Taylor and Nick chat. They watch Jalen and Alondra chat, and Nick thinks Taylor is stepping it up, which is good. That's what Alondra wanted. And Jalen says that Alondra is beautiful, and so she asks what's his type, and he says, does she like and he says her, she's beautiful, and Shelly, and then he says, do you like men with more meat on their bones? And she says she likes that he gets up in the morning and goes to the gym. Taylor says it does rub him the wrong way that a guy came in after his girl, and he says that maybe it wasn't if it wasn't somebody who was her type, he wouldn't feel like this. So Alondra says to Jalen, what's his schedule like? And he says, oh, he has a Monday to Friday, but he's off on weekends. She says, well, what do you do on the weekends? And he says he visits family on the weekends, especially his grandmother. So she ITMs Jalen and Taylor's vibe with her are totally different. Jalen's a slow burn. Hi, Miss TJ.
Hey,
Welcome.
girl.
I'm just about getting to the end of episode 10, so you got here just in time to talk
Oh,
about the good
yay. Yay,
stuff.
yay, yay.
So we do see that she says that Jalen and Taylor's vibe are totally different. Taylor's a slow burn, which she doesn't have a problem with, but Jalen's more forward with his attraction to her, and so she appreciates that. So Alondra sees a connection and she enjoys talking to him, and she wants to see where things could go between him and her, and she feels like he's a genuine person. That's like, I do feel like Alondra has a good she's a good basis of judging people. Yeah. I'm not seeing that Jalen is not being genuine with her, but I also not seeing that Jalen wouldn't leave her. And so I just don't feel like he has any loyalty to her. Right. And I don't think that he came in just for her. I think that's what he was told to say. Mary says, welcome, Miss TJ.
Hey, Mary.
So he says he knows she's a slow burn, but can he kiss her on the cheek? And she allows it. Nick says to Taylor that he doesn't think that he has anything to worry about. I said, I don't think you would have had anything to worry about if Alondra was doing the picking. I think you have stuff to worry about because we're doing the picking. Even though I did not vote for him to lose his girl, a lot of other people did. And he's like, oh, he helped her down, but she didn't need that help. He's like, yeah, she don't need no man to help her. I die laughing. And I do like that about
you were over there with her, you would have helped her down, but you don't want him helping her.
He helps her up and down to everything. That's why I'm always yelling at you guys like, no, he holds her hand all the time because he's always helping her up and down stairs and stuff. And like even this episode, you saw that he was helping her up when they went to the gazebo to sit in the chair.
She was walking in that little sand, or I think it was like sand with those heels. No. I know he helps her. I was talking about holding hands like, like that.
Like not sitting, I don't think he holds hands with her, but again, I think that might also be her.
That could be her.
Yeah. But yes, he's always holding her hands to walk and stuff. But it was so funny when Nick and him were, oh, she don't need it. Like,
she don't need no help. She don't need no help.
Like, she don't need no. But I do like that about Taylor, that he doesn't have this machismo that he's just like, like his woman is not independent and can't do things for herself. Like he's very much like, I feel like he appreciates that Alondra is a baddie. I do feel like he loves that about her, and that, he just knows that he's not used to it. So he's trying to figure out ways to step it up to get her to see that he likes that about her.
He better step it up. More than right in the sand. He better do something else.
So we'll see. And so we do see Ace and Iris chat, and he says that he does like her and that they chat about relationships, about going on amusement park dates. He's not sure what's happening, but he likes this little thing. And then I was like, this is the problem with a person like an Ace who has chemistry with a lot of things. A lot of people.
Yeah, he wearing me out.
But Iris also seems to be the type of person who also has a lot of chemistry with a lot of people. So it's like two people who have chemistry with a lot of people. Which is why I'm just like, I get it. I see the vibe. I'm not seeing sparks. But he seems to be.
I know they had a good conversation, but I never saw any sparks. That's why I was just like, he really concentrating hard on her, and I didn't see no sparks.
No sparks. I'm seeing a vibe. I'm not seeing sparks.
It was one good conversation, and now you can't make Shelly no breakfast? I'm confused.
Yeah, that's so funny. The Ace wants to be chosen. So we do see that Pepe pulls Hannah from Charlie, and then they go into the speakeasy, and Charlie's not happy about it. And so they chat how open she is. Charlie's upset that she might kiss Pepe. And Shelly says, well, you don't have to worry about anything until she tells you to worry about it. And again, I'm saying you need to worry because we're voting, not her. And so Pepe and Hannah actually do make out in the speakeasy. I do
Thank
love that they changed that Riz room to the speakeasy because
me
it
too.
just that vibe is so much better. It really
Yeah.
is. And so we if going into that was the end of episode 10. We'll go into episode 11, which is After Sun. I'm gonna briefly talk about After Sun.
Okay.
I don't like After Sun. That being said, I was very happy with Serena and Janae being on there. They were great. Them and Ariana, bright spot. I don't like the panel. Yao was there. I
I
there's
told
not
you it was
enough
gonna be a
color.
new person. I told you it was gonna be a different
Yeah,
person
you
this
did
time.
say that. Yeah, I think it's a mistake. I personally feel like they should have just let Janae do it. And
Hmm.
maybe she couldn't because I mean, like her and Kenny are on their way to France, or they're already in France by now. Um,
But they could have let her do that episode though, because she was already there. They could have
right,
let her and Serena just do the whole episode because they was already there.
right. Um, I don't like the panel. Sully, El,
Giggling,
and
giggling,
Callum, just
giggling.
like
We're
just
exes.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, it's so annoying.
and they're just thought process of things and how they I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't care for it. There's not enough color. You're talking about this Trump supporter who is with Shelly and not understanding that he literally said things and shared things about her direct culture. Like, and if it was your culture, you wouldn't like it either. Apparently, Shelly says that they cut out the part where she said that she doesn't feel like Shelly's man is there. But again, you even saying that you think that she should stay with Austin was a misstep. And if you are black, you would know not to say something like that. Um, so I don't like After Sun. I just don't like this version of After Sun.
Right.
it's not working for me. And this was the first time I actually watched it live and watched the entire thing from front to back. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. The parts where I liked were this part. Serena and Janae going into the villa was
That was
absolutely hilarious.
hilarious.
They are so like they're such a vibe, and
Yeah, they
why we want them on our
Janae takes
TV
stuff.
screen.
Like each room she goes
Yes.
in, like taking stuff. That was so hilarious.
It's just so funny, and them going through the different rooms, like, oh, like so she goes into the sauna, and she's like, it's hot in here, not as hot as Serena, but it's hot in here. Uh, so cute that their photo in the photo booth
Oh
was so
yes, that was so cute.
cool. They
Mhm.
post Janae posted it today. Um, they were a bright spot. Serena talking about how the fact that her and Cordell it were like they're still in that honeymoon period, and that to know that they like basically their trials and tribulations were in the villa, and so now that they're just flourishing and it's
Yes,
everything we wanted for them. It makes me so completely happy.
absolutely.
And coupled up with the fact that if you listen to the podcast that he did with his dad on YouTube, he basically said that they're gonna get married soon, like I've been saying.
Really?
He did. He said that his girl is like, no, we're not having children. We're not moving in until we're married or engaged. And he said engaged. And so he said so that that's not going to happen today, but it's going to happen soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna happen. Yeah, yeah.
So I've been saying, I said once we hit the year mark, for me, it's engagement countdown. And I used to like keep it quiet and say it to like I told you, Miss T Joy. I told a few
Yeah.
other friends, but then Serena was like, she hasn't been hearing any marriage allegations. She'll take those, but not the baby allegation. I said, oh, good. I'm glad I've been spreading the marriage allegations. I will wrap those up right now. So, and then with Janae, who is it? Driver Risa, when she was talking about Corda, it was so
I
sweet. It
know.
was
I know.
so
She's so in
so
love. So in
and
love.
and then he did another interview too, where he was talking about the gift she got him for his birthday, the briefcase, and he went to show the guy. They are so and he just I started laughing because the interview with the podcast he did with his dad, I said it took him 25 minutes to get to Serena, which is like a world record for him. Um, but he just is so happy to just like be in her presence and
Yeah.
to be around her. And then with Janae, she talked about her and Kenny and how well they're doing.
And they're going to France, right?
And that they're going to France. So she spilled the beans that they were going to France. So they traveled separately to France. So we should get be getting some content in Europe by in a couple hours, if not now.
Are
So
they
I'm
just going to vacation or are they doing something there?
somebody said there's an event there, like
Oh,
with ad some sort of ad type of event. So they might
oh,
be
okay.
going for that, but either so he was so excited to see her, and they've only been apart for like 2 days or what how long was she in Fiji, because
Like
they had
3 days.
literally
They've been apart for
yeah,
3 days.
so he had literally left her, but I think once they got to LA, I think he just was so happy to just consistently be with her, based on what I was seeing in the background, like him posting in snaps. And I really, really, truly can see, because he came back and they're like, how are you feeling about Dallas, like being back in Dallas? He's like, I'll let you know. And he had like his face turned up. I don't think that man is staying in Dallas. He's either moving
I
to LA.
know.
I think he's
Hmm.
either going to move to LA and they'll like be, between LA and New York and Vegas, or I can see him moving to Vegas and just being with her. So we'll see, because Kendall's not there anymore. So this right now it's just Steven that's keeping him in
Oh,
Dallas.
Kendall's not
Kendall moved to
in
LA.
Dallas.
No, he
Mm.
moved to LA. So yeah, it
Who is
was
Steven?
Steven's the content creator guy, videographer, event guy that they found that helped him with his video.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So we will see, but their interview, the Ariana with them was so good. She's
Yeah,
so good with them.
yeah,
And then the behind the scenes that we saw, well, the little clip that we saw from the behind the villa was very
yeah,
cute. So I'm
yeah.
excited to watch the show. So that was After Sun. I probably, unless they show up on the show again, I doubt that I'm going to watch. Mary says, I feel nobody black want to do that show because they don't want to be show puppets. And that's also fair. That's also
Yeah.
fair. Dreadful Ruby says, I loved Ariane. Oh, I loved her
Her
look.
outfits are banging. Every
Oh,
single one of them. She don't
yeah,
miss. She don't
yeah.
miss. Even
No,
tonight, she don't
yeah.
miss.
Yeah. And yeah, tonight she came in looking severe because
Yes,
she's like, I got news for you.
yes.
It
And
was
that
so
way that top was like towards the
yes,
back, and then also that
yes,
clip and that ponytail, everything was perfect. I'm like, she
yeah,
don't miss.
miss. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Um, and so we do see too, like Serena and Janae kind of were wearing the similar colors to what they wore when they first came on After Sun, on their season, from the villa. So they were Janae was wearing like reds and pinks, and Serena was wearing blue. And they very often do that. They end up wearing like blue and pink or red. And they looked so good. Serena looked amazing. And then she did a
I
TikTok. If
love
you missed it,
braids. Janae looks good in those
oh,
braids.
Her braids look so good. But now we know why she did braids, because between this and then going to France, smart.
And then the
Uh,
Hamptons, yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's gonna
Um,
be hot in upstate New York on the
oh,
summer. Ain't
yes.
nobody got time for that. Mm.
So Serena did a TikTok where it's the Gossip Girl sound that says "Welcome back, Queen Serena," and it's her walking through her villa, and I just loved it. The one thing that y'all did say that I agree with is said that they are absolute icons, and absolutely so. After Sun, that part was good, but the rest of it, nah, they could keep it,
Okay,
and
Tamika with the shoulder hang. Okay, I see you. The shoulder.
Uh, um, so yeah. Oh yes,
Yeah.
and Ariana knew that she had to say. I do generally think she likes those couples. To be fair, I don't. care for one of them because I they're delusional, and we'll chat about them. But yeah, no.
Mhm.
And then they had Nick and Ace on to chat, and I was kind of hoping they have my naughty trio, but they only had the duo.
Mhm.
And um uh, and oh, I decided to call Alondra and Taylor either Gemini twins or Wonder twins because I think they're they're so cute. When they were sitting
Gemini,
there,
just call them Gemini twins.
yeah, when they were
Because he
sitting
don't
there,
chalant enough to be Wonder twins. He don't chalant
oh
enough to be Wonder.
goodness. Well, when they were sitting there, like telling Shelly to let Ace lick off the whipped cream or icing off her, and they were both sitting there just like a stirring
Yes.
the pot. I was like, not the Gemini twins being messy.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so they played a game. They got asked about the leather and lace. People kind of misconstrued, I think, what Ace was saying. He was saying he was like very into the fact that they got to do this challenge because he's like, that's why I came here. But they're like, oh, he was only talking about Iris. I said, no, he was talking about the entire challenge. He did say that Iris came in looking good.
Mm-hmm.
And but also Nick said that Iris came in and he enjoyed kissing her and stuff like that. I just don't understand what the issue is that Nick and and Austin get to explore, but Ace is not, and he's not coupled up with anybody that he's getting to know. So people were upset at Ace, and I get it. We want Ace with Shelly, some of us, not
I just
everybody.
want him to act like it's not like he has to have like undivided loyalty, but it's just like once he moves on to exploring somebody else, it's like he forget about the other person. And you see how Shelly can balance him and Austin. He act
Mhm.
like he can't balance two people. That's all I'm saying. That's why it makes it seem like you're wishy washy, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're still into Shelly, still be into her and be into Iris. Why you can't make two breakfasts? You've been making two breakfasts. It's weird. It's giving real weird.
But maybe he can't balance two women. He's also 22. He again in After Sun, when asked like if he had done threesomes, he said no. Like I just do wonder and he said he was very loyal before that to dating when dating people. So I do wonder if he doesn't know how to balance multiple people. And also
But the
do
breakfast, Tamika, he been making multiple breakfasts, Tamika.
but she's also coupled up with with Austin, who's also making her breakfast.
And he been still making her breakfast, even though Austin making her breakfast.
We don't know if he did or didn't give her breakfast. He just didn't bring her breakfast at the same time as he brought Iris breakfast. Is what I'm not saying he didn't bring her breakfast, because also we know. I think there's been photos where people saw that Austin also was bringing Shelly breakfast. Somebody else, like he, it's possible he gave her breakfast, just not at the same time.
Mm.
So, um, I think with Ace, he that chip of, yeah, like I got to give my undivided loyalty to this person. I'm not ready for it. Has to go in order for him to settle down to one person. And I just don't know if that's possible right now. Yeah. That's because that's why he won't do it, because he's just like, oh, I have to commit to this person. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
I
That's what I'm
just,
saying. He has no loyalty. That's my whole thing. He has no loyalty because
I
he
think
never
he has
commits, so he doesn't have to
loyalty.
be loyal.
I think he has loyalty, which is why he won't commit.
It's never been tested. He's never committed. So I don't think you can know if you're loyal or not if you've never committed. I just don't think, because having a loyalty to family is totally different than having a romantic loyalty.
Right. But also, when you are a child of divorce, don't you question whether or not loyalty is viewed in a certain way? can do you have those possibilities of being that type of person, or do you question whether or not the your past experience of you've given and people don't have loyalty to you, whether or not like you can make those commitments? And
It's
I think
both.
that's
It
not,
depends on the
yeah,
person because I did
yeah.
my my actual senior psychology paper was on children of divorce and how it affects them in romantic relationships. So it
Mm-hmm,
depends, right? So it does depend on the person and how they took the divorce. It
mm-hmm,
depends on who they sided with, who they saw as being the vulnerable party, right? And
mm-hmm,
how they felt the other parent acted in that divorce, right? So
mm-hmm,
say he stayed with his mother. We do know that he stayed with his mother after the divorce, right? So depending on if he felt like his father
mm-hmm.
was
He's in the wrong or something like that.
disloyal to his mother,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that is the reason he might question himself. Do I even have the ability to be loyal? Is it in me? Is it in me to be like my father? Am I my father's son? Like, even though I have a vulnerability and a sensitivity to women, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm,
respectful, do I have it in me to be loyal to them if I really commit? This way I
mm-hmm,
can't break their heart because I've been telling them this whole time we not in nothing. Because I don't want to do a woman like my daddy did my mama. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying if that did happen, I don't know his parents' story, but he
mm-hmm,
could think to himself, "Am I my father's son? Do I
mm-hmm,
have it in me to even be loyal?" Right? Because some people
mm-hmm,
do question themselves. Even though they haven't done it now, they think to themselves, well, my father didn't do it for 10 years and then he did it. So do I have it in me? You know what I mean? So they
mm-hmm.
sometimes wonder about that. So
Yeah.
I
So
don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying. I think it's possible that that's how he views relationships, and why he's. I mean, he's only 22, but why he's never committed, because to be honest, we saw somebody like a Cordell was able to be in a 5-year relationship, almost 5-year relationship, in some sort of commitment, whether it was off and on or whatever it was. I mean, for it would have been have to be in a high school relationship. But if you listen to the pod that he did with his dad, he also had his own apartment from 19, and he had said that he at one point had been living with his girlfriend at one point, and it messed things up. So that's why he was okay with not living with Serena at this point. So you do see the difference between, while Cordell's dad and mom are divorced, he says that his father just taught him how to value that type of relationship and with women, and value
Absolutely.
women in a way that he has been able to commit.
Yes.
Or it's him saying, okay, my parents couldn't do it, but I want that, so I'm going to commit. And he's
Right.
very,
I'm
very,
determined.
very
I'm gonna
loyal.
break. I'm gonna
Yeah,
break that generational curse. Right.
generational
I
curse.
can tell his daddy a lover boy, his
He
brother a
is.
lover boy, and he a
Yeah,
lover boy. So even
yeah,
though he divorced, he knows that
yeah,
his daddy still tells him how to treat a woman, and his
yeah.
daddy fall in love probably easy, and he's still a lover boy. So and
Yes,
he
yes,
probably still show his mama the utmost respect, even though he's not with
he
her.
does.
And
Yep,
that could be the
that's what he
difference
said.
in that relationship, because
Yep,
some people divorce and then they argue and they don't show the other person respect, and you know what I
yep.
mean. So
Because he said that the mom would call and be like, "Oh, they ain't acted right," and by they, it's not even Odell. It's because remember Cordell has another older brother, and he's like, they ain't acted right. He said he would roll up the Parkway and be like, "All right, I'll be there soon," and come and like set order straight, right?
right,
So again, just by even by knowing that you have parents being on the same page, that mom could call dad and he's still like being like, your mom is right, you need to respect her, we're not together, but that doesn't got shit to do with
right,
y'all, right? That is a big difference in how
absolutely,
you evolve in romantic relationships, right?
absolutely,
And so he might have said, okay, it didn't work for my parents to be in a committed relationship, but I know that's what I want. And even like he did an interview with Serena, and they were talking about like the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith situation, and he was like very offended by that. So he doesn't believe in cheating, and he doesn't believe in disloyalty. And so
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. Like you just see the disparity in when you have those situations, how they're treated can really impact how a child then views romantic relationships moving forward. So yeah. So we do see episode 12 starts with Hannah's walking out of the speakeasy, and Nick notes that, oh, Pepe, you have some lipstick on your face. Nick,
Nick is so messy. Nick is so messy.
please, Nick.
Nick is so messy.
So we do see that Austin promptly runs off to go tell his boy Charlie. And Nick is like, they're like, you said that. Like, why would you say that out loud? And he's like,
Right.
what did I do? Did that what I do me? What I do?
What I
And they're
do?
like, you said it in front of Austin. He's like, oh, I did? Because at first he thought he said it in front of Charlie. He's like, no, Charlie wasn't here. He's like, no, but you said it in front of Austin, and Austin went running over there to tell him. He's like,
No, Charlie.
oh.
Hmm.
So we see Shelly trying to calm down Charlie and said, listen, this is just like her second or third conversation with him. Y'all aren't closed off. You just have to like let it work itself out. But of course Austin spills the tea. And Hannah does mention that she basically kissed Pepe in the same place that she kisses Charlie. And that's what was wild.
Something about that mood and that speakeasy, baby.
Yeah, like a girl in the speakeasy, just like why don't you take him like on the deck outside of the makeup room? Why you got to take him to the speakeasy?
And she straddled that man. Like she wasn't just
Hey,
doing no little kissing. She was like, let me get into it.
she did. So we see then Alondra says, well, it's week 2 though. And Nick says, well, if I had kissed Iris in the speakeasy in the same way, would you be upset at me? And Alondra says, but it's week 2. And so I mean, I do feel like people like Shelly, I will say this. I'm not hating it. I know a lot of people are. I'm not hating it that the girls are exploring.
Me neither.
And
Me neither.
I do feel like they are exploring, but they're also not being hypocrites in for the most part about them exploring.
Yeah, they're
Right?
being transparent about it. Right. Like I'm not trying to hide it from you that I'm exploring.
And I'm also not getting mad at you for you exploring. Because I don't
Right.
just be upfront, tell me the truth, let me understand where your head is at. That's all I ask, right? Alondra has said it, Shelly has said it. I think that is for the most part the vibe of the villa.
Yeah. But I think you also do have to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
transparent, and fair because I do think Hannah was kind of hypocritical a little bit in the episode. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
do know they were talking about stuff while y'all crows or something in the bed. So I do get
Mm-hmm.
that. But then you got mad when he went and talked to her. I do think he was being petty, but she said it's because he pulls her and I never pulled anybody. But most of the time the men do pull the women. So I do think that was kind of like go easy on him. I did think she was about to crash out for nothing because she was over there like Taylor really had to calm her down. She acted like she was about to crash out. I'm like,
Mary has a fair point here. Hannah might have been tired of being in the background. Possible.
oh, that's true.
Um, Mary also says only Huda is the one. Yes, agreed. She's the one that is the most territorial in this.
Yes.
Crochet's here. Hi, Crochet.
Hey, we seen a lot.
Let let us know your thoughts, Crochet, on this episode. So we do see that Charlie is pulling Hannah for a chat, and she does tell the truth, but Charlie is upset. He feels like she stole his aura, and he now has to go to bed with her after her making out with Pepe. And I'm just like, Charlie, which show did you think that you joined? because that was always going to be the show if y'all didn't close off. Brashay says, I love the mess and chaos, don't we all? That's why.
Yes.
Um, so we do see Hannah says, well, she's just intrigued by Pepe's chat. And Charlie says, no worries. Like, he really doesn't, he's also like a little bit of passive aggressive about this. He doesn't really like delve more into it. So we do see Austin and Shelly chat. And Austin says that he's going crazy. He's having to pull back. I'm like, you're not into her.
Right.
But you want to be a victim and make this her fault. KB says that Hannah was being hella hypocritical. Her and Charlie were literally giving, it's no fun when the rabbits got the gun.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do feel like she insinuated that they were like this huge meant to be couple the first week, which is last week. And then so her doing this, I think, was odd for him. But she had warned that she had warned us, the audience. Not, I don't know about him. She had warned us that she does things to sabotage. So there we go. So Austin is saying he's crazy, feeling crazy. He was having to pull back, and so Shelly says, well, she's enjoying her time exploring her connection with Ace, but she is still conflicted. And again, I say, if you're that conflicted, that's a choice. If you can't make a decision, that's a choice.
Yeah.
Even if the choice is
like, no, you can't make a decision. No decision is a decision.
No decision is a decision. So Austin says that all he hears about is Ace and Shelly. Ace and Shelly. It's hard not to pull back. I'm like,
you are so
fucking insecure.
Who's telling him that, Nick? Because Nick is that type. Him and Ace are like this. They really are. You would think it's Taylor, but it's really Nick and Ace. They are the ones that are like that. And it's Nick. Nick over there saying that.
And Shelly notes that they have good conversation, but she also says, what I'm getting from Ace is the spontaneity that I'm not seeing from you. And she's like, will you be doing that, or will it just be, you know? So like, on the other hand, I feel like, well, Alandra and Taylor, she likes the fact that they just have deep conversations, and he just knows her inside and out, and they can build the intimacy from that. Whereas Shelly's just like, no, like, our conversation is great, but I need the physical. Like, I need it now. Like, I need us to move. So how are we building that? How are you getting there? I don't like routine. I like the dates and the spontaneity. So what are we doing? And Shelly says it's not attractive that Austin is walking around defeated.
Right.
And that she says,
I'm not gonna keep picking you up and reassuring you. I'm not gonna keep doing it. I'm not gonna.
Right. It's the insecurity is bothering her. And she says one thing she does like about Ace is that he's confident in his position, no matter who's in the room. And she says she doesn't want to have to constantly reassure him that it's too heavy for her to carry. She doesn't want that. And that's why I was saying
that would give me the ick. If I gotta build you up every damn day, I'm not.
No, I need you like, to me, you being a man is being secure.
Absolutely.
And it's not like I won't reassure you, but I'm not going to continue to reassure you.
Exactly.
Right? You have to know your place in my heart or in my life. And that's why people were mad about him, Ace saying, oh, Shelly knows where home is at the end of the day. But she likes that about him. That's what she likes about him, that he knows that he can probably get her if he wants to, or at least try. Yeah. And that's the difference between him and Austin. And so she does say that, you know, she's not writing things off, but where her head is at is, she can't keep doing this.
Right.
She's like, do you want a hug though? And she gives him a hug. JB says Nick and Ace have been a diabolical duo since night one.
Yes.
Jeremiah and Hood chat, and he just wonders if she's using these situations to push him away. and I think he's not realizing. No, she's not using the situations to push him away. She's using the situations to rule over him, right? Because in the back end, before you got here, Miss T Joy, I basically said she did not lay down the right foundation
Mm-hmm.
to build a relationship on,
Right.
which would have put her boundaries and her rules and what her expectations were for him at the bottom.
Right.
Uh, and then her wants and the needs and all that stuff would build upon that, right?
Right.
And then also, hey, I have a child, so also this is important. Da, 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 da. She didn't lay that down, and now she is coming from the top down, like on a ladder that she had climbed up, and then she's coming down, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, so that stuff down there, I still need that stuff. So can you just like bring
Right.
that up to me?" And he's like, "I can't carry that load with me. I can't, like, I'm not doing that. I just, like, it's not fair. So like you've already, like, the up there, like, the third thing, you've already got me up there trying to unpack the fact that you have a daughter, which I never thought that I would even be interested in. So I can't
Right.
come back down to build all that stuff back up there." And so that's what she did. And
Yeah,
so
and you shouldn't be humping somebody if you feel like you don't even have the foundational stuff. Cause
that's what
cause
I
you
said.
needed to make sure that was there before you started doing all of those other things. You have a child, you do know what can come with humping, right? You do know what can come. So why would you be doing all that and you mad over an uncooked pancake and that he can't eat all his food and he can't help you? If you mad about that, why are you humping? You obviously y'all got to start back over,
Hmm.
start it how you want, and then you know what I mean. Like I just thought, like this is just y'all are doing too much.
Yeah. And she says, "Well, it's not about pancakes. You're missing the point." He said, "No, I understand your point. I'm just saying this can't be the thing that's messing us up. So what is it? What is it for you that is about?" And then, to be fair to Jeremiah, he wasn't asking the wrong questions.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he was
It's
not.
like, if we're gonna get through this communication barrier that we're having, we need to actually unpack what this is about. And while I
Absolutely.
understand your points with the pancake, because now he's found out that she lied to him, that Taylor didn't just come and start making the pancakes because he was
Right.
being a man. She asked him.
Absolutely, she did.
Um, so she said, well, she would wake up, she thought she would wake up to things being differently. Like, I spoke to you and I thought it would be a different thing happening today. And Jeremiah says, well, I feel like I'm being tested, but I also feel like we're not in a bad spot. And he is. And he's like, I feel like we're not in a bad spot, and it's just a communication barrier that we need to figure out. But you're acting like we're really down bad. And she's like, I'm not saying that. And Jeremiah, but she kind of is. She's going around telling the entire villa that she's going to be out if he don't toe the line, and that
Right.
he towing the line is basically giving her what she's seeing the other girls in the villa get from their
Yeah.
guys. It's making her upset and jealous.
But you know what? Because those girls took their time and they
Mhm,
communicated to the guy that
mhm,
I mean, I gotta see. I don't know. You're not really showing me you're into me. And they
mhm.
communicated all of those things. So the guy then says, oh, I have to do this to get her. You've
Right,
already given yourself to him. He doesn't think you telling people y'all mom and dad, y'all got the best connection. Y'all the
yeah.
number one couple. Y'all are closed off. Why does he don't have to buy the cow if he get the milk for free. He don't gotta do nothing special. He already got you. These
And
men
she
are trying to do these things because they're trying to get these women.
it
Okay,
is, well, not
Taylor's
even.
trying to get her.
Like, Taylor
He's
is
trying to
trying
get
to
her.
secure his
Right.
spot. Yeah, right. And that's the thing. She is not actually seeing that she's the one that built this foundation wrong, not Jeremiah. He's still trying to figure out what foundation. She built this wrong because
Right.
those girls built it right, that those guys understand what's required in order to get into the house. And that's
Exactly.
it. And so she's right now coming back and realizing, oh, well, I want that. Oh, how'd they get that? And I'm sitting here singing your praises, and those other guys aren't giving me as much as are giving more than what you are getting,
Given.
uh,
Right.
giving to me. Yeah.
Right. He don't
KB
have to win
says,
you over. You already marking his doggone neck, letting everybody know he yours. What do he have to do to win you over? I mean, it's nothing. He don't have to do nothing.
no. KB says that she's the only one that's been given up since night one, and he hasn't had to do anything but smile, which is why I think she tried to insinuate to Amaya that all, like, she don't care how fine he is, she don't care how much she's attracted to him, that she
Right.
would dip out. And I don't believe her. I said it was empty words. Hey, who all gonna be there? Podcast is here. How you doing? He don't gotta buy the cow if he get, but it's true. Like
Yeah.
it's not to be even misogynistic. It's just that at this point, when you have, it's like if you watch the show Forever,
I
there
did.
was a point, right? Like there was a point in it where I'm saying the girl's real. Keisha's mom says, with a man like Christian, you have to hold out as long as possible in order to make sure that he respects you and that he values you, what you want, and your values, your boundaries are, right? And she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't wrong. She was actually telling her very, very good advice. It was absolutely right. I feel like Jeremiah is similar to that. For like, you could maybe do what you're doing with an Ace or a Taylor, and they would still respect you. They'd still come around like, fuck, I need to like come back and like really figure out what Huda needs, and wine and dine her. I think that's the type of people that they are. But a person like Jeremiah, he will take advantage and take advantage and take advantage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
KB says even hot girl Hannah is still keeping Pepe and Charlie on their toes. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Um, and so we do see she's saying that it it's just them needing to work on stuff. She feels like they can move past it. She's not giving up. And she points out he's been giddy about Iris coming in, and I'm like, where? 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 It's
That
not happening.
man did not. He had a conversation with her. He didn't give her any indication that he was trying to get with her. That man
No.
has not done anything. He's scared to talk to anybody. He's not really has not done anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'll
And
call him
so
out. He hasn't done anything. I'm sorry.
A says she's also the one that was telling him he was pretty much perfect when she sees the other girls getting stuff. That's exactly what we're saying. She laid this foundation wrong because she was going around, but she was doing it to the girls, right? To make it
Right.
seem like they were a perfect couple, mom and
Yes.
dad,
Yes.
in front of the girls. And
Yep.
because she didn't want them to ever question what they had, so that they would like kind of move in on her
She don't want
territory.
people to see the cracks. You saw
No,
how she acted. She don't want nobody to see the cracks. She don't want nobody to know they having
nobody,
trouble.
not the men,
Right.
not the women. She said nobody,
Right.
nobody.
And you're
Um,
also saying, okay, love you, bye. How many times are you gonna say that? And keep saying, I didn't mean that. But you say it every day. What do you mean you ain't mean it? It's
we'll come
crazy.
back to your comments, King Cash. But hi, King Cash. Um, Mary says they're so toxic. Love them so much. Of course you do.
Mary
Of
love
course
her.
you do, Mary. Yes,
Mary
you
love her
do.
toxic love.
Yes, she love her toxic Virgo. Yeah, so we do see he's saying they had a great chat that morning, but we're practically closed off. Well, yeah, we had a rough morning. I'm not going to abandon what we have. Who says, wait, what? She gets pissed. Don't bring up our problems to anyone. And he said, okay. And she's like, I don't know that bitch. So definitely not her. Never do that. And I'm always watching. He said, oh, that was cute. And she's like, oh, he's so toxic. He's like, oh, I'm not that toxic. I'm like, motherfucker, you're toxic.
Both of them are right.
Both of y'all are. Um, So he says that he just likes that she marked her territory. She says, so you want to get rid of me so you can talk to other girls. Jeremiah says, you are actually scary. And so then Huda leaves. Jeremiah, what happened to taking a joke? Jeremiah says this is the first real fight that he will take, but he will take her feedback, and if he can't meet her standards, it is what it is. And I says they're extremely toxic, and that's why what happened exactly. King Cash
And
says Huda
she
is trying to
don't know about it.
force
She can blame it on
um
him. Delusional
force
slut.
the perfect couple narrative. Everyone's giving a side, and I said this earlier at the show for those who weren't listening. I said that she was going around planting seeds with the girls that she's like the best friend, the like she's fake because she was planting the seeds that she was like this great
Girls.
friend to all of them, this girl's girl, when she was being two-faced to most of them. And
Right.
then she was also planting this, we're also the perfect couple, we have
Mhm.
no cracks, blah blah blah, which is not true. And then the cracks started showing, and everybody's like, really, like that's what's happening, shocking, all this stuff. So now they're getting side eye, but it's because she does not want them to be able to utilize it against her, and it ends up happening anyway because you can only be fake and phony for so long.
Right.
So we do see that Ace and Shelly chat. And Ace tells her that Iris and he had a good chat and he's open to exploring with things. And I think that at this point, Shelly was going to tell Ace, like, I think it's you. I'm leaning towards you. And then he said this bullshit because she was going to
Yep.
speak to him, and he's like,
Yep.
well, can I go first? And I do wonder if he knew that. I do wonder if he knew that that's what she was going to say.
I don't know. He could have.
Um,
He
he could.
calculated it. He probably thought so.
Yeah. So Shelly's pissed and she ITMs that well, first she tells him that she doesn't like it, but she understands. And Shelly ITMs like I'm just gonna have to take a whole step back because every girl that comes in here, he wants to explore. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. But I just don't think she wants Austin either.
She definitely doesn't want Austin, but it's no need to get out of that couple when this man playing games. So you might as well stay where you're at.
Yep. Alandra says that Taylor and her are open, and she says that he's shitting his pants because she's talking to Jalen, and he doesn't like it too much. And Pepe really likes his conversation with Hannah. Hannah feels like the two connections are vastly different. But Charlie's upset. Nick
Yep.
gives him a hug, and he said he's really jealous. And so Shelly chats with Alandra about her and Ace's conversation, and it's like she doesn't know what to do at this point. Iris and Charlie chat in bed, and Hannah's jealous. Jeremiah and Huda do stuff with the lights on. And then they continue when it's off. And then we see Sarah and Nick making out. So the next morning, Taylor goes and wakes up Ace. Ace makes Iris breakfast. We're not sure if he made Shelly breakfast.
For the
Huda,
record, I don't believe that he did because he comes up the stairs all the time with two breakfasts in his
mhm,
hand, one in this hand, one in his hand. He did not do that.
mhm. Um, so we do see that Huda tells the girls that they had sex and that she won't tell them when, but they had sex and she's really
I hate when
happy.
people do stuff like that. Well, just keep it to your damn self. I hate when people halfway tell me something. That's just a thing of mine. I'm not saying that she had to tell all her business. But I don't like it when people try to tell me a little something and then they won't tell me the whole thing or won't let me ask questions. They like, I'm gonna just tell you this little bit. Don't ask me about it. And I'm like, what? Well, you could have kept it to
Well, you
yourself.
could have
Because
kept it.
I
Don't
didn't
tell me.
ask you
If
nothing.
you
I
go
didn't
and
ask
spill the
you.
tea, spill the whole tea.
Right.
And I think King Cash has a good point here. Ace has a fear that if he picks Shelly, she will pick Austin and send him home and embarrass him. Yep. And I think that Iris's chat and energy surprised him, and he's like, well, maybe I can just get to know her and Shelly can just get to know Austin, and I never have to know if she chooses Austin over me at all, which I
Maybe.
don't think she was ever going to do. Um, Ace says that Austin is not his usual type, which I don't think she is. I don't think he does white girls. That's been my opinion.
That's not what I didn't get that from him either. But then he's, I don't know. Okay.
But yeah, laughing my butt off. She's so ready to tell unprovoked Maya, but then want to keep details to try and be mysterious. I'm telling you, she moves weird, and I think people see
Very
it.
much so.
Huda was like, I gotta see it. Everybody's like, we know, and we don't. She just continues to keep these secrets that people don't. It's not big deals for them. I think of all the villas, and I think I said this. I either said it to y'all privately or I said it. I might have said it on Spaces, but I said this of all the villas, and I was one of the people. I've been very open that I kind of understood her not saying upfront that she was a mother, but I feel like of all the villas to be able to provide that information, this was the villa that I think would have been the most accepting. All the guys, all the
Right.
girls of her
Right.
being a mother and able to explore that, and she screwed it up. So because when they find out, they're going to be frustrated with her because she didn't give him that information. So Charlie says that he's going to pull Iris for a chat, and now everybody's like, "What? What?"
When does
um,
that?
so Shelly tries to comfort Hannah. She's like, "Y'all are both open. Y'all are both open."
Mhm.
Iris and Charlie do chat, and they talk about their different likes and their wants, and Hannah chats to Taylor because he's the resident girl listener. And she's pissed that Charlie pulled Iris, and she says she's never been the one to pull. She was always pulled.
Mhm.
Um, and she's mad that he's moving mad about her movement and wants to know if that's how he will react every time they are in the situation. She feels it's not genuine. And I was like, I do feel it's genuine. I do think that he will do that every single time. Because I think that he's probably one of those jealous type people. And
Yeah.
some people are, and I don't even think it's an insecurity. I think he's just a type of person who does not want you. He doesn't want that, right? He
Mhm.
wants to be just, we're together, we're together. And
He's
fair.
not used. He's not used to rejection. Rejection. You can tell. He was defeated when nobody stood up to couple up with him that time, and excuse me, and then to
And
see
then he thought that she came in like just for like this godsend. I forget which season, but somebody else. Oh, Kendall. Kendall thought the same thing about Nicole, and then was upset when he found out that Nicole was actually exploring with Miguel. But I never thought that Kendall and Nicole were that big of a match because
neither.
Nicole had said that she was more attracted to Cordell. She liked Cordell's kiss. And then again, someone similar to Cordell's vibe walks in, Miguel, and she starts exploring him. And she
Right.
immediately kissed him. So
Immediately.
yeah, so I think it's a similar thing. Like he thought that she was the answer to whatever he thought was happening to him in the villa, and she wasn't.
Right.
She just was a girl who came, and she's open to exploring, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think that's what he wanted to be in this
Right.
villa. He wanted to be mom and dad. Um,
Everybody wants to be mom and dad.
Anybody wants to be mom and dad. Um, so Iris and Charlie chat, and he says he's open to explore. Alondra and Taylor chat in the gazebo. That's when he helped her into the gazebo over the sand. And he was very afraid that him and Hannah were about to be broken off that one interaction, and his reaction was over the top than what's expected. In my opinion, it's giving something happened in his past. I could see that.
Hmm.
It did seem like it went from like a whole 360. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm practically off you because you did this. So
Yeah.
it
And I'm gonna
must,
go to Amaya. Out of all, it was just really weird. It was just
yeah,
crazy. It was crazy.
it's obviously a boundary for him that she crossed, but he wasn't telling her that it was a boundary. It was like
Right,
that.
because y'all were not closed off. Y'all were not closed off. She could.
No. Ugh.
It had only been like what 4 days for them, less than anybody else. Like they're a new couple. Like
Yeah.
so, it was
Is
just
it
weird.
four or is it three? I
I
can't.
don't know. It could have been three,
I
but
think
that's what
it's
I'm
three because
saying.
remember when they came in and somebody's like, it's only day 7, and then we're on day 10. So I think it's
Okay.
three. Yeah. But yeah. No, not good. So Taylor asked her about her connection with Jalen, and he was very calm when he asked her. And
Hmm.
she says, well, she likes him. He always reminds her how beautiful she is and how he wants to get to know her. And she feels like he approaches her different until it's more her mental side. He's respectful though, but he lets me know he's very attracted to me. And he's like, she's like, you probably thought I was cute, but you didn't say that you were focused on other things. Taylor said, "What are you trying to say?"
I'm
And
trying to say you don't compliment me. That's
that's
what
what
I'm trying to
I said.
say.
I said, "Okay, so maybe it's words of affirmation is her second or third because I was thinking maybe it was physical touch, but it's starting to sound like it's more words of affirmation. She wants
Yeah,
more words of affirmation from him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like I'm a
she like
baddie, and you lucky to be with this baddie. So recognize I'm a baddie and tell me I'm a baddie.
yeah she likes
Like I noticed that he didn't even say when she came down that leather thing. People were like, "Oh my god!" Like to different people. I noticed that he did not say you look amazing. His mouth might have done like, but he didn't mouth the words to her like, "You look sexy. You look amazing. You look hot." And maybe he thinks that she can tell that his eyes are bugged out of his head when she
Mhm,
comes down. Maybe he thinks that she can pick up on it, but he doesn't articulate it.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And she
Yeah,
want to hear that. She want to hear
and but
that.
we've also said that we think that he's a man of not many words, so maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is what he needed to hear. That's what
Right,
she wanted, and because
right,
it might not be innate for him.
right.
Um, and Alondra says, "Well, you were focused on me as a person rather than Alondra. You look so good. Today you're so beautiful. You don't do that. You approach me different." Until it's like, is that something that I need to worry about? Like, do I need to off him in his sleep? And
That
I
was
was like,
funny.
yeah, see, this is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for Taylor to crash out because he said he's a crash out. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. Because to me, that just tells me he does really, really like her. Child free my sister Alondra. I don't agree. Alondra just told Taylor that he never tells her how good she looks, but Jalen does all the time. And his response is T plus O equals. But again, I just think that I don't think he's very experienced in dating. I
I know.
just don't.
I know. And
So
I'm rooting for him, but after a while,
yeah.
just like Shelly doesn't want to reassure Austin all the time,
Mhm.
Alondria
She's
is
not
gonna
gonna
get
want to have
tired.
to keep telling him
Yep.
to do this.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just, I was like, no, I was like, that is actually really happy. That would have been, unless he said it. I don't know. It's an edited show. I will always leave a little room and space for the fact that he might have after that said, I think you are the most beautiful person, in this villa, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I think you're beautiful. Of course, I thought you were beautiful. And your ass is fat. Like, he could have said that. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But she says, but she does seem to appreciate the fact that he has gotten to know her as a person. And that was also my issue with Jalen. I don't think Jalen has gotten to know Alondra as a person at
Yeah, but
all.
he'll get one day.
Yeah. Because he's not pulling her. I've seen him talk to Amaya a lot, and I hadn't seen him talk to Alondra. So I'm just like, are you actually here for Alondra? Because I'm not feeling that you're here. Like everybody's like, oh, he's into Alondra. He wants Alondra, but I'm not seeing that he actually is putting in any
Yeah.
effort to getting to know Alondra, and that is what's going to get Alondra. Now, what will keep Alondra is the things that she's saying, the words of affirmation, the acts of service, the gifts, the physical touch. That stuff is going to keep her. But what is going to get her is to get to know her as a person deep down. That's how
Yeah.
Taylor got her. That's why
Yeah.
she's not off him yet. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
agrees here. You so right about the edit. Don't forget that. I try to leave a little room for the edit. You never know. I've seen crazy things come out that they actually edited out. Like last season, there was a whole ring exchange that we did not see, which
Right.
is crazy. It's like rings appeared on fingers and stayed there till Casa, and one person is mentioning the ring in his ITM, and we're like,
Right.
ring? What ring? When did they give rings?
Right.
I mean, they were
Exactly.
serious, more serious than we knew. Because
Right.
how were the rings? That's what happens. um. So yeah. And so she tells him no, and Taylor says the bombshells will come in, and I don't want to lose Alondra. And he says, let me get on my shit, and let me do what I need to do to keep her, and I have to step up my game.
Right.
And I'm glad that he realized it. And as I said, I do think it's more that he's just not used to being with a baddie. I just don't. I think that's what it is, which is what he said he wanted though. Like coming in here,
Yeah.
he just has to realize how to keep her. Um, and then that's when he writes their initials in the sand and with a heart, and she
Ain't
does
nobody
it.
see it. Ain't nobody see it.
He's like, but can't nobody see it? I thought it was cute though. I thought the
He
action.
couldn't even see it. She was smiling, and he knew. He like, I know you can't really see it. No, we don't
Yeah.
see it. Just
Because
go.
she seen him do just a dig, and it was so cute. So Hannah and Charlie chat, and she doesn't want this to be an ego contest with him. And Charlie asks her, does she look at him like does she care? And he's like, and she just looks at him wordless, basically, yes, I do care. And he's
Mhm.
like, you're a psycho. And they come to an understanding about exploring and kissing in front of each other and talking to other people in front of each other, which is good. But then Nick gets a text, and it's get wood, who's a cut above the rest. And it is hosted by Paige DeSorbo from Summer House, who I don't know because I don't watch Summer House, but hey, welcome,
Oh, I
Paige.
know her. I know her.
Uh,
She watched some house.
so this
But why
was
did
the
she leave
weirdest
in the middle of
challenge.
the
I
middle
don't.
of the game?
It was just the
That
weirdest.
was weird to me. I was like, where did she
Unless
go?
she was just contracted for like a certain amount.
I was like, what is going on here?
This challenge was weird, and I wish like Serena and Janae had hosted it instead. It would
I
have been.
know.
So we do see you have to climb up a tree, get a question, choose a boy with the wood chipper, then the boy who was the blasted must choose one girl who the boy is not coupled up with to chop down the tree, then another girl to get the on the log, and then give a girl's name from the basket to enter the cabin and do with what they want in secret. So first up was Austin, and he asked from who should be axed from the villa next, and he says Jeremiah,
That was
and
something.
that was something. And again he chose a black person. And Amaya was who they chose to help him chop down the tree. Shelly was the person over the log, and then Alondra was who he picked out of the basket, and they kissed. Alondra is going to get very popular in this game.
Baby, her lips are tired.
Taylor next, who seems bored with his couple, and he chooses Ace, and then they choose I think Huda for the
Yeah.
chop, and
The
then
one.
yeah, Sierra I think is who he took to the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And their kiss was okay. To be honest
They
with
didn't
Taylor,
kiss.
was it? Oh no, sorry. Yes, they were the ones who were intimate, that they were shaking the shack.
Yeah.
I do remember that part. Sorry, I was watching it on 2 to 3 times speed. So,
Hmm.
um, Ace. Next, who's pining in the villa, and it's uh, who did he? Wait, Ace didn't pick himself.
Who's what in
Austin
the villa?
pining in the villa. I don't remember who he chose. So it ends up being Iris, then Alondra, and they all kiss. And he says he likes. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this was Nick. My bad. My bad. So this was Nick, and he put who is pining in the villa,
And
and
he
he
picked
says
a
Ace, and then he picks Iris for the wood chop, and then Alondra for the cabin because they skipped who he picked for the log. I didn't see
right.
that, and they kiss, and then he says he likes kissing her. He thinks that she's super sexy, and Taylor does say, "No, that shit ain't good." Now, who was it? Tedros says, "How do you feel about Nicolandra?" I don't feel any way because it's not real, and he is doing is basically sexually objectifying Alondra.
Hmm.
Um, he does not really like her
No, he just finds
as
her attractive
a
and hot.
potential enemy. He just finds her hot. He just finds her
And he
attractive.
likes her
She's
kisses. He loves her kisses now.
loves her
That is
kisses.
true. He does love her kisses. Like,
But other than that, that man is
mm-mm.
not into her. And I
No,
wish
he's not.
people would let it go.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, Jeremiah is next and he says, which boy has no splinter of hope in their couple? And he says Ace. I think he said Ace. Why do I feel like he might have said Austin? No, he said Ace.
Hmm.
Um, Pepe said Austin. So then he chooses Sierra for the wood chop, Alandra to full on kiss. Were you
Hmm.
shocked that Jeremiah kissed her?
I was, but I was happy. It needed to happen. And of course, Huda up there acting up. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he kissed Alondra. Because this was the second time he got her in a challenge, and the first time he did not kiss her. And I think
right.
it would have been rude at that point. Jalen, which guy needs to exit his couple? And it's Jeremiah. So it's like even Jalen thinks that Jeremiah um and Huda
Hmm.
need to not be together. And Huda is pissed. Mind your business. So
Right.
then he picks Huda for the wood chopping. She's like, I'm gonna show you what you'll
Jeremiah picked
never get.
Huda. Jeremiah picked Huda to
Yeah.
be with Jalen. Uh huh.
And she's like, I'm gonna show you what you're never gonna get. And then he picked
Who
Amaya.
said he wanted it? Who said he wanted it, Huda?
And then
Like,
he
she
picked
just on my nerves.
Amaya. He picked Shelly for the log and Amaya for the kiss, I believe.
And that was weird to me that he didn't pick Alondria.
I said this. I said this earlier before you came.
Oh,
I
okay.
personally think that he likes Amaya and that he's not that into Alondra. And I think that it is weird that he'd say it later and we'll discuss, but I think it's weird that he didn't choose her either. I'm sorry, I don't care what he says. I think it's weird that he didn't choose her for one. Because you don't
Yeah.
even have to full on if you chose her for the log, you don't even have to full on like make out with her. You could have just
Right.
been kissing her. But you
Right.
chose Shelly because you want to explore. And you chose
Yep.
Amaya because you like her.
Yep.
So we see Pepe, who no chemistry with their partner. He chooses Austin, and for the log, he got Hannah, and the cabin, he got Iris. Which,
Hmm.
um, fair. It didn't look like him and Iris really kissed though. Um, Charlie, who is stiff competition, he says, "Well, I guess I'll have to pick Pepe," and so then
Hmm.
he chooses Hannah for the log because he wants to throw it down on her. He did. I think he did a good job with Hannah
Oh, you
there.
saying Pepe chose
No, no, no.
Hannah?
Charlie chose Hannah this time because
Well,
Pepe
who
had
did
chosen.
Pepe choose to cut the wood with
We don't
Charlie?
know. They skipped it,
Oh, okay.
and they skipped it here too. So we
Mhm.
didn't see it. So then Charlie chooses Sierra, which
Okay.
was weird because she's like, that's her brother. So Alonzo was literally a hot commodity for this game.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah says, he full on kissed her because he didn't come to play today. And he felt like this was the day, like he had done stuff, but he hadn't done stuff in the challenge before. And he felt like today was a good day to do it. Sierra asked Huda about it, and she claims to not give a fuck. And she just didn't expect it. And Nick
Hmm.
asked if he is surprised at how Huda has been reacting to him actually having to be in these challenges and stuff. And he says, well, it's fine. She is who she is. And they're like, okay, but what about when you have to take this on the outside? Like, is this going to be healthy for you to take on the outside?
Hmm.
And he's like, well, we'll just figure it out on the outside. I just don't think he has any intention of figuring it out on the outside. I just
No,
don't think he's going to be with her. I
no, he's
don't.
not. He sees it. He sees it. He just don't want to let them know he sees it.
He's
He
trying to
sees it.
win the game because he is trying to win the game. He
Right.
wants the money above all else. King Cassius Huda went from you could kiss her more to you couldn't care to mad that he actually participated in this challenge. And it's so
Yes,
weird.
it was.
It's odd. So yeah, I don't think he intends on staying with her. I just
No,
think he
I
just
don't think
is
so
trying to
either.
get to the end. And I said he keeps choosing his words very wisely, like he
Yeah,
said in bed with her.
because
If
he know he would have went off by now on her and how she acting if he wasn't trying to
Mhm,
play the long game. He would have been cut her off if he wasn't trying to play the long game. She
mhm,
done like three too many things, and he would have been like, you
yeah.
know what? Let me let you know something.
And I think it's telling the way he answered the question earlier in the episode 10, where he was just like, well, if we're together, then no, I'm not gonna cheat on you. And I think that's the key word. If we're together, I don't think he plans for them to be together.
Right.
And Kid Cash says Jeremiah has put in too much time to give up on this couple now, and that's why we
Absolutely.
voted him to
Even
not.
though it's only been 10 days, they think it's been 10 months. Okay.
Yep, yep. Sincere, no, sorry. So Hannah says she preferred her kiss with Charlie. Are you surprised by that? Mhm.
Yeah, because the way I was surprised because the way she had been straddling and kissing Pepe, I'm thinking she likes his
She gone.
kisses.
She gone. Yes. And so we do see Jalen and Alondra chat. And again, this is why I keep side eyeing Jalen. And he says that he didn't pick her to do anything because he didn't want to put her through that. And that he picked Shelly. And she's like, oh, okay. And well, you did good for your first challenge. And I'm just like, no, I
Right.
don't trust you. I'm
I'm not
sorry.
buying it. Right. I'm not
I'm
buying
not
it.
buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. You could have picked her for at least one of those things. He didn't pick her for nothing.
Nothing.
So he asked how her and Taylor were, and she said they're good. They're doing the same. And Jalen says, "Oh, good. Well, may the best man win." And Alondra says, "Oh Lord." And Jalen says that it's good to know she's still open to him still. And I feel like, well, that's the game you're playing. You want her to still be
Right.
open to you, just so that she might choose you.
Right.
And so he asks her for a quick kiss, and she does give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, fair. But I just feel like it's telling that I'm constantly seeing him having chats with Amaya in the background, and I
Right.
that he didn't choose her for this
I
challenge.
agree. That was weird to me.
Yeah. Hannah chats with Pepe, and Charlie, we see, pulls a Maya
Yes.
for a chat. And he wants to get her know her again. And she says she can't do that. He's like, she's
Amaya
like,
is a water sign through and through, baby. That Scorpio. I mean, she cried. She cried and dramatic about everything.
and
Everything.
she's like, her and Hannah are extremely close. She could not do that to her. She wouldn't do it to her on the outside, and she cannot do it to her on the inside of this villa. And he realizes he's made an error. Um, and Wait a
He
second,
says
Kit
that
Kat.
after basically begging her, like, why do you have to? She's talking to other people. Why can't you do it? Like, he basically was trying to beg her to do it. And then when she really wouldn't, he was like, okay, you got to cry about it. I guess I made an error.
Kit Kat says
Charlie
Charlie's been with 100 people. He should know how to kiss. Do you know that everybody don't kiss everybody?
Some people just be humping King
Some
Cash and
people
do
just
not
be
kiss.
hunting.
Some
Sorry.
people think that kissing is more intimate than
And then
humping.
and
I
hunching.
used to
Yeah,
have a friend who thought that way.
yeah,
Who thought that way? I thought it was weird, but she thought that way.
yeah. I know people that do. Sometimes I depends on the person. I'm just like, do I want to kiss them?
Too, I want to kiss.
Mm, but
I
I
love
would,
kissing though.
do the other stuff. But yeah, no. Um, sometimes you just have an itch to scratch, but you ain't trying to be intimate. That kissing is intimate. Shit. Um, so not that I really know. I'm talking a really good game, but my body count is not very high. I
I
don't know.
already know. I already know. I already know.
I y'all know I was married for a very long time. So not married no more, but yeah. So we see Pepe and Hannah back to making out while he's propositioning Amaya. Um, and Amaya just starts crying from there. Like she started crying from there, and she just did not end until the end of the
Enough.
episode. King Cash though says that Maya isn't a dead couple. At least explore a friendship couple. A friendship couple from a person who's in a actual couple with your friend. I don't think that's how that works.
No,
Now she
if
can
you don't,
explore.
it's no need to risk that if you don't really like him. If you don't really like
No,
him, it's no need to risk that.
now she can explore a friendship couple with like Taylor, or somebody else who's like left up. But I don't think Charlie. No, no. I don't. I think that was an error on his part, or like an Austin.
I don't know why Austin. I still cannot figure out why Austin won't give her no play.
Yeah,
Like, what
no,
is going
he's
on?
weird. Yeah, King Cash said the same thing. Austin. Yeah, very. I that entire situation weirds me out because I really truly believe he's just not into black women
Jelly.
personally. And so we see he says, oh, maybe that was stupid because now I probably made a mistake. And Amaya said she just can't do that to a friend, like she just wouldn't. And so the nighttime arrives and Charlie says he messed up. He feels Hannah's head is turned though. And so Amaya does have to break it down to Hannah what happened with her and Charlie. We see Ace and Iris are still talking about how they have a good connection. They seem to have a vibe. I don't see a spark. That's all I can give you guys. I
I
I
agree.
I just not seeing it. Taylor pulls Alandra and she does tell him about the kiss. She's like, it was just a peck. And she says she's not very sexually forward. And she's like, you need I need to have my mind stimulated. And so she values what her and Taylor have, and
Hmm.
has more than anything with Taylor. And I was like, and this is why we didn't hear any of that until right then when they were about to review apart, because then maybe people wouldn't have voted for her with Taylor, or less people. It was a very high amount of people voting for her with Taylor, to be taken from Taylor. And I think it might have decreased if people heard this from her, because I don't think Jalen is doing that. And I do think that she had a Freudian slip earlier in episode 10 where she did kind of say she loved Taylor. And he also is saying that he loves where he's headed, and with her, and that he plans to keep pursuing her, while applying pressure. And she agrees. And to me, this is why I trust Taylor more than I trust Jalen, because to be honest, he could be pursuing other people. He really could. He could have
I
been
mean,
pursuing.
maybe Amaya, but he thinks
Yeah,
she's
but that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. There's other people he could talk to in the villa. There's
Like
Amaya. There's
who?
Hannah. Amaya, Hannah, Sierra, anybody.
Hannah already in a triangle. He's trying to keep her from crashing out. He too close to
He
Nick. He
still
wouldn't
could
do
have
that
been
because
like, oh, well, we can talk. He, again, Charlie did.
yeah, but Charlie's not close to Nick. Like I don't know. I just like Amaya wouldn't cross Hannah for Charlie. Taylor isn't gonna cross Nick for Sierra. You know what I mean? I just think he wouldn't do that.
Right, which is why I said Amaya and Hannah first. But I still think that
Yeah.
there's
I
people
think
in
he
the
just
middle.
I think they all think Amaya's crazy. I think Jalen I think,
Or Iris, but I also still think that he's not into white girls personally. I don't
yeah,
think.
I don't think so either.
I
I
don't.
don't think
A lot of people think that Taylor is into white girls, and I'm just not seeing it because every white girl that has come into the villa, he has literally ignored.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah. Um, but we see Hannah and Amaya chat about Charlie. She then says, "Well, Pepe's not meaningful, and Charlie's who she has the romantic spark with." And Iris and Ace chatting, and he says he liked their kiss. And she's like, "I tend to lean towards nerds when he asks when what's her type." And he's like, she's like, "Are you a nerd?" And he's like, "Yeah, pretty nerdy." And she's like, he's like, "Do you believe in love at first sight?" And she says, "Yeah, she does. She likes that romantic stuff." And he's excited to explore things with her. And again, cool, see the vibe, do not see a spark.
He
Hannah
says
and
things like that, right? And I
just
don't he
listen.
he asked her that just for her to get that in her mind, but I don't even think he believes in it.
Yeah, King Cash
He's
says
one of those
that
people that
Ace is
ask
playing
you
a
things
role.
to get you
Yeah.
thinking. Yes, he is. He's one of those people that ask you things so you'll think he thinks the same thing, or if you feel it, he'll think that, oh, he asked that because he believes in it. But you notice he didn't say he believes in it because he doesn't. I think, he's just one of those people that says things. And so he
Mhm.
just has you believing that y'all just have this great conversation, but he's having that great conversation with everybody he
For
talks to.
everybody, yeah. And Cat also noted earlier, you can tell Ace feels stuck because the games he normally plays won't lock down Iris, and he doesn't want to break his new boundary outside of the challenge. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. So we do see Huda and oh wait, nope, I'm missing a conversation. Hannah and Charlie chat. She acted rashly. They don't think anything will stop their connection. She says she will not kiss Pepe anymore. And I said, "This baby girl, too late,
It's too late.
too late, too late.
Too
Sorry."
late.
Huda and Jeremiah chat, and Huda didn't realize that he would kiss Olan full on. He says, "Well, it was a challenge." And
Right.
she's getting mad, but just as she's getting mad, Ariana Maddox walks in, and I said, "Bad things about to go on."
Look at your Jamaican coming out.
So Ariana brings the news that the recoupling is
Walking
happening.
and looking good.
Yeah, she looks
Bam.
good.
I mean,
She
she
looks
can
so
wear
good.
out.
But it's going to be in a way they've never done before. America has been voting for who the bombshells will couple up with. And I had been hoping that they would not do a dumping. I still got my way in the dumping if they were going to do it happen, so I'm okay with it. But I had kind of not wanted a dumping because I kind of wanted just the fallout and then them to do a recoupling and then the dumping to happen later.
Oh,
But
I wanted to dump, and I'm too many people in here.
yeah, I know. So three couples will be broken up, and three singles will be individuals will be single and vulnerable. So first up, Jalen. Jalen, America has voted for you to couple up with
Hold on, but did
Alonzo.
you notice? Let me just say this. Did you notice that Hannah was like, Huda was like, America, America, America. Let me tell you something. She was sitting there thinking she was gonna watch the show and she
Yeah,
was gonna judge all the
yeah.
couples and then go and tell them like, I can't believe they did this to y'all. She just knew that
She
they
just
were not going to be
knew. She just knew. She just knew that she was untouchable.
touchable. Yes.
Prishay says, I'm sorry. I laughed from the moment Ariana walked in. Period. Period. Listen, she knew. But first, Jalen's coupled up with Alondra, and Taylor is single and vulnerable. Jalen's happy. Of course he is. He secured a spot in the villa. But
Right.
Alondra is in shock. Shocked to the point that she's speechless. And Taylor is hurt. He said
Mhm.
it does hurt for America to rip you away from your girl. And yeah, Mary is
Especially
right.
if it wasn't her choosing. Especially if it
Yeah,
wasn't her
it was
choosing.
her choosing. And I think he would have respected it if she had made a choice because he loves Alondra like as a friend, really truly deep down. I think he would have been okay with it and just took it on the chin. But the fact that we didn't let it play out, which was my whole thing, is like, can we let it play out? Can we let it play out? But no, nobody wants to let it play out. Hence, America is the villain.
I'll be
Um,
that. Sometimes you gotta be the villain in somebody's story, baby.
but as I said, I wasn't going to do this because, as I said, I don't trust Jalen. But I get it. Like as I said earlier, if the trust wasn't there, maybe she needed to see this, like how he's going to meet this moment, in order
Exactly.
for her to trust him. And I do wonder if she will see the part that she played in it, that she almost got him dumped. Because remember, in the
Yeah.
beginning of the season, she was frustrated because she thought that it was possible that he might have gotten her dumped, and I just don't think that that's what she was looking for. And we'll see it later, but we'll talk about it later. But yeah, he's hurt. She's shocked, and she does say, um, I'm excited to explore this connection, and I think she felt there was an obligatory statement that she had to make because she didn't want America to be upset at her for not being happy. Um, and I do think she wanted to maybe explore the connection. She just did not want Taylor to be gone.
Right.
Uh, but it was like she was upset. I'm sorry. There's no
I
two
think
ways
she was
about
just
it.
I think she was just shocked at first because at
Yeah.
that point nobody knew about a dumping. So I think she was just
No.
shocked. But once
Yeah.
she found out about the dumping, she was
No, she
upset.
was
Yes,
pissed.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And Brichet says Alondra still wants Taylor. Sorry, Jalen. I agree. And yes, I agree. This was the longest pause of like she was so. I was just like, oh, okay. So I haven't been reading this wrong because I said I think Alondra really likes him, and I think he really likes Alondra, and I wasn't wrong because we see it here, right? Like we
But
see that there was
sometimes
real
stuff gotta
feeling. Like
sometimes
we
stuff
gotta say,
can't
yeah.
come up.
Just this is just about waking him up. Unfortunately, it was bad, bad.
Right.
But yes, so we do see next Pepe is paired with Hannah. So a lot of people thought it might be Sierra. Some people had voted Sierra, but I
I
had been
voted him.
seeing more people voted Hannah. I was saying earlier that if we had thought about it, because we're trying to get Shelly away from Austin, we really need to get Shelly away. We should have voted Shelly here. We really should have voted Shelly here.
Yeah, we should have voted Shelly. We didn't even think about it.
No, because at that point, Jeremiah, um, Ace. Oh well, no, Jeremiah couldn't vote. So Ace, Nick, and who else wouldn't have voted? Would not have voted for Taylor.
But Hannah and Charlie would have.
True. Hmm. Maybe Taylor is still a close friend of
But I don't think she would have
Hannah's.
voted Huda out, and I don't think she would have.
Would she? She might have voted
And
for
they wouldn't have
Oz.
voted Austin out because Charlie's BFFs with
Yeah.
Austin.
But she also knows that Shelly don't want to. I don't know. Okay, it probably played out the right way, but I was just saying,
Yeah.
yeah. Pepe and Hannah are together, and Charlie's single and vulnerable. Pepe is happy.
Yep.
Hannah is surprised.
Yep.
So, last but not least, and the best of all, Iris has been paired with Jeremiah, and Huda is like, "What?
What? What the F? Are you serious? Are you serious? And everybody is shocked. Everybody's face is like,
Except for Ace. Ace is laughing his head
he
off.
just busts out laughing. He is so terrible. He is so terrible.
Um, and Alondra's like, that is messy as fuck. And so she is single and vulnerable. Iris is surprised. Jeremiah has no words. So Hudas asks, why does she think America voted that way? Because she says this is a slap in the face. We are the best connection here. So Ariana said, well, if you're the best connection here, why do you think America did this? Oh, because Iris said she wanted Jeremiah when she came in. No, that's not why we voted that way, bitch.
Are you kidding me? You don't think she said she wanted Nick and other people? She didn't just say she wanted your man. Like, what are you even talking about? So why they didn't vote for Nick? Like, no, ma'am. It's because we don't like y'all together.
We don't like your toxic behaviors. Brashay says it's Hudson thinking he did this because of Iris. Oh, it's Huda thinking that we did this for Iris. No, we're just messy and we don't like you and Jeremiah together, as Ms.
Exactly.
T-Joy also said. Huda is right. They had the best connection. Where? In this villa? They don't have the best connection in this villa. They sure as heck don't have the best
They
connection in this
don't
villa.
have the best connection, Mary. They really don't. They just decided to act closed off and call themselves mom and dad, and they're promoting it so you'll believe it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If people say it enough, you'll start to
Yeah,
believe it as well. But it's really not. I mean,
and her blaming Iris, as King Cash is saying, as well, but it's pointed because she seems to be. I said this. She's a bit pick me-ish because she wants to blame the girl in the situation, and she instead of blaming like your own situation for the issue. This is not Iris. Iris didn't do anything. King Cash says we are the best connection here. Media side eye. Weird. So unfortunately, then Ariana announces that all three are single and vulnerable, and one will have to go home tonight. And there will be a dumping, and the dumping had will be chosen by the islanders who are safe, who weren't recoupled.
right.
So that is Sierra, Nick, Austin, Shelly, Ace, Amaya. And so one by one, they must give their vote on which islander they are willing
And
to
this
dump.
was tricky because I'm like, this is six people, so it really could be a tie. I
It
thought
really
when you
could be
have
fun.
even number of people voting, it's a
Mhm.
possibility for a tie. And I really think Austin is kicking himself because I
Oh, he's
really think
screwed.
that he could have made it a tie and not wasted his vote on Taylor. Because immediately when he sat down, he was like, I effed up. Because
He
why
should
you
have.
pick
He
Taylor
should
for?
have chosen Huda. He is screwed, and I'm going to tell you why after we're done. But yeah, he is upset. Once everybody found out it was a dumping, did you see that Alondra did not turn to Jalen? She did not go to Jalen for comfort. She went immediately to
To the
Jeremiah.
to,
It was
oh yeah,
Jeremiah
who was sitting next to her? Yeah,
who
okay.
was sitting next to her, and she don't even really talk to that man, but she felt more comfortable going to him than Jalen, which tells me she doesn't want Jalen.
I thought she felt like they were trauma bonding because both of their mates were up there. That's what
Yeah,
I felt like it was. Not like, I just felt like she was like, "Oh, we have this in common. Both of our
I
people are
think
up."
if she really wanted to get to know him, she like because I think Hannah was getting comforted by Pepe.
She was I don't know what Hannah was doing. She
Yeah,
was the Maya was putting on the show. No, we don't want to do this. No,
yeah.
we don't want. I'm like, oh my
She's like,
gosh,
she's like,
the
no,
water
we can't do
signs.
this. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. It was crazy. Mary says okay, but once Ace finished with Huda, he would go after Ola, just like Tariq destroying Kat and after Whitney. I don't think that was. I again, Tariq wanted to win. Ace, I don't think cares to win. King says, what are the average amount of people in the villa at all time? This does feel like usually it's between 4 and 5 couples.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It is a lot. We need to dump two couples.
Yeah.
Appreciate says Amaya was my favorite. She was earning her camera time. She sure as hell was. So the votes come out at this. The Islanders, first in couples, Sierra chooses Charlie. Nick chooses Huda, which I think some people were surprised. I was not. I think they thought that because he knew she was a mom that he would not have voted for her, and I knew
Ain't
that
got
was
nothing to do
exactly
with
the
this.
reason.
Ain't got nothing to do with this.
Because Nick is not worried about her being a mom. It's not about her being a mom.
Right. Because
It's
she a mom,
whether
she can't get eliminated. What they
no,
got to do with anything?
yeah, that got shit to do with anything. And Austin chooses Taylor, and then he immediately sits down and he turns to Shelly. He's like, "I think I fucked up. You think
She says
you?"
nothing to him. She says nothing. Like he's talking under his breath to her. She is
Mhm.
paying him dust. Because I
Yeah.
think at that point her makeup was running her mouth. And she probably like, why the hell would you pick Taylor?
Because
Like,
one, Taylor is her bestie, her bestie's man.
right.
Like, what were you thinking? And on top of that, the rest of the boys in the villa, they're boy. You would
So
have been better off
I
choosing
didn't
her.
get that. And you said Olandria is like your bestie in the villa. So
Right.
why would you take
You
away your
turn
best
against
other
your girl.
person?
You turn against
Yeah,
your girl, your bestie, and your girl's bestie.
right. I just didn't get that when you could
Oh,
have
it's
just said
easy to
Huda,
get. It's easy to get. He chose the white guy.
the black guy.
He chose to save the white guy
Oh, okay.
because he did all of
But
that for
he could have
Charlie.
said Huda. It's not even
He should
about
have said
Charlie.
Huda.
Right.
Um, especially after you said that you want Jeremiah eliminated. You should have said
Right.
Huda.
Right.
King Cash says Ace doesn't want to win. He wants to put on a show. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Mary says, I know he doesn't want to win. He wants screen time, so I guess he's playing his game and it's working. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, to be fair, I think that he just is calling out the bullshit, and we'll talk about it in a second. But Kid Cash says, I thought the duo Ace and Taylor. Nope, it's Ace and Nick. Yeah, they're
And
running the villa. They're running the villa. Taylor just has all. Again, I always said that Taylor just has all the connections. I did not think he would go home in this case, um, and I wasn't wrong. I
Taylor
wasn't.
and I think Taylor and Ace can't be the devilish duo
Mhm.
because they feel like Taylor is the even though Taylor is older than Ace, Ace
Mhm.
and Nick feel like they have to mentor Taylor.
Yeah,
It's like
he's
she's
the
just not
little brother. It's like
independent.
Janae. Janae says that she's the little sister, even though she's older, right?
Right.
Uh, but yeah, it's kind of like that dynamic. But also, I think he's just the reserved gentleman guy. Like he cares about everybody in the villa, which is why they all come to him. And I
Yeah.
do think that Alondra also values that quality in him,
Yeah, she
right?
does.
So yeah, like he made enough connections to save his ass in this vote.
Yeah.
Um, but you could tell he was very pissed that he was taken away from Alondra. And so we see Shelly was like, I don't know what the fuck this guy sitting next to me is doing. I'm choosing Charlie. And
Right.
then Ace says Huda. And then Amaya says, this is the hardest decision, but she makes the right decision for her because, as I said earlier, I don't know if you were here when I said it. For her, for Amaya, strategically, Charlie was the correct answer because while yes, he is her best friend's man, she now only has one person mad at her instead of if she had voted for Taylor or Huda, she probably would have had the entire villa mad at her. She would have had the girls mad at her, and she has gotten close with Huda. And then she also would have had, if you voted for Taylor, she would have had nearly all the boys mad at her. The only person mad at her right now is Hannah. So strategically, that was the correct response because it also allows Taylor to stay in the villa. So if she wants Jalen, Alondra decides she doesn't want Jalen, she now gets the opportunity to explore with Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
And um Charlie, she was never going to explore with anyway. His only connection is
Hannah.
Hannah. And so it's kind of like what happened with last year, where it was more about exploring connections than people who are sitting in couples, which is why I got why Nick and Ace chose Huda instead of what you call it, Charlie and Taylor. To be honest, um, Prishay says Taylor tries to stay neutral. Nick and Ace are here to be messy. I agree. I agree. Mary says though earlier, Ace wanting Huda out, but if Huda left, there would be two extra boys left single in the next recoupling. So if Huda is not there, who's picking Jeremiah? Which they would have probably had to drop some bombs come tomorrow or Tuesday, or they wouldn't have had a recoupling until the end of the week. So I don't think he was thinking about that. He was thinking about the fact that he feels like Jeremiah and Huda are fake. I think that they're toxic and that they're not really mutually into each other, and that they also are stopping everybody else in the villa from exploring. And he's
Right.
not necessarily wrong. And I think that little preview that we saw the next day, where Ace is letting Jeremiah have it and Jeremiah's going back at him. It's him basically like, America put the battery in my back.
Right.
America put the battery in my back. I got all intents and purposes. I have the battery in my back to tell you guys that you are fake and phony, and that is why America voted for y'all. It is
Yep.
nothing to do with Iris, and it's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with nobody but y'all, and y'all are the fake ones. And
Right.
he's not. Sorry.
Right. And I see Shelly tell, I don't know who she was talking to, but she was like, obviously they saying some stuff we
Oh,
don't
it's
see.
Alondra. It was Alondra
Oh, okay.
says that she's like, obviously America is seeing some stuff that we're not seeing. And I think she's talking about Jeremiah and Huda. I don't think she's talking about her own
Yeah, no, no, I knew
situation.
she was talking about Jeremiah and Huda. Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew.
yeah. I think because I think it shocked everybody that
Right.
America split them up, which is why she's like, that's crazy. The fact that they split up what we all perceived as the solid couple. Um, and also like me, I was still exploring and still open, so maybe they thought that they were giving me the more of a chance to
Right.
get to know. I think she'll realize that that's pretty much kind of what it was, and then she'll make her decision on whether she likes Jalen or she wants to go back to Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she realizes that no, something's crazy if they broke these two up.
Taylor is over there in his ITMs. He like, let me tell y'all something. Y'all get my credit card. Where is my producer? Get my credit card. I got to buy her something. I can't play these games. I gotta get my girl back. You gotta let me buy her something. Like I already know what she want. I be listening to
Mhm.
her. We be talking in the bed. I know what she want. Look, take my card, right? The
Yeah.
red one, the red Amex, the one. Okay, take that one and go and get her this purse, right? She want this purse.
Mhm.
Kurt Geiger, something like that. Yeah, that purse is colorful. She want that purse. Get that purse and some flowers. Put it on my card and
Yeah, yeah,
have it in here when I come back in this ICM room tomorrow, so I can give it to my girl. I gotta get my girl back. He
yeah.
probably is over there like, y'all
He's
handicapped me.
like,
I got
okay,
to
guys,
buy my
like, what
girl
do I
something.
do? Because and they're gonna be like we told you to apply pressure. You just probably didn't do it in enough time for America to see. So you've got to just, if you want her, you've got to get her back.
Right.
And I hope,
He better tell them
yeah,
to get him some paper or something. He better
yeah,
start writing her poems. He better start doing something,
yeah.
okay? Like,
I
and
hope
let
he
her
meets
know
the moment.
we
I
don't
think he
know this
will
about
though.
you,
Yeah.
right?
I hope he meets the moment. I think he will though.
Me too. I hope he does
Jeremiah
too.
is pissed. So is Huda. Hannah can't stop crying. So that is what we will see tomorrow.
Ooh,
Um,
that child is distraught. Is she not?
yeah, yeah.
But she also is distraught, but
I
she
think
ain't
she
leaving with
blames
him.
herself.
But
But
she
I
ain't
think
leaving
she's
with
distraught
him.
because she blames herself.
Oh, and she should. And she should. She was straddling that man. We thought
Yeah.
she wanted that man.
Yeah, we did. We
We
certainly
thought we
did.
was doing something good for her. We weren't really
Yeah.
trying to be
No.
mean to her. We thought we were doing something good for her. She was straddling that man. When we the last time we saw them, she was in a speakeasy straddling that man.
And I think that the preview also showed her get like kissing him. So I don't listen. We got played in the edit in the Hannah situation. We probably should have chose Shelly, but I think it all worked out in the end because none of the people that I wanted to leave left, and the one person that I was okay with leaving is gone. Bye bye.
He
And
tried
Hannah.
to plead his case before the vote too, didn't
Oh,
he?
he tried to plead his case. Hannah. So my whole thing is Hannah. You can go. Bye bye with him. I
But you
don't.
see, she didn't pull a Rob. She crying, but she ain't say nothing about going with him. She ain't say nothing about going with him.
She sure didn't. King says Ace thinks Jeremiah being on lockdown puts pressure on everyone else to do the same. Absolutely. And he also, I think, Pete, that he's playing a game and that he really does not intend on being with that girl. Rachel says, I don't know why people are surprised. It is OG Island. I don't either. It again, every year. We we know this. We all know this. King says nobody wanted Hoodie to go home before she crashes out. Another valid point. Why would we want? There were so many people. They should have been Huda. It should have been her. It should have been Huda over Charlie.
No, we have to
Never.
see the aftermath. We have
Yeah.
to
Which
see.
is why I said I didn't want to vote a dumpy because I wanted. I need. I said we need fallout. We need screaming. We need crying. And after Huda's done, we need crashing out right there. Like, like I don't understand. The game plan was
She
set.
is gonna be hurt, girl. Do you think? I think she gonna go off on Nick more because she gonna be hurt by Nick more than Ace.
He's gonna go
Because
off on it.
Ace, they don't really
Ace
talk
is
like that.
Ace.
But
Yeah,
she gonna be
Jeremiah
like,
is gonna go at Ace, but he's not gonna go at Nick because he knows that Nick believes him and Nick feels like he's doing what's best for him. Hood is gonna go after Nick. She's
I
gonna be
told
ready.
you about my baby, and he probably
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, "What does a baby
What
have to
happened
do
with
with
this?
this?"
What to do with this? Amaya screaming, "We don't want this!" Was she was really
I know it was a whole lot. And she kept saying it. We don't want to do this. Don't make us do
no,
this.
she did not want
Ariana
to
is
do
just
this. And
standing
then of
there with
course
her perfect ponytail, like,
she was
so
just
you
a side
all get it
effect. It's
together, and one
crazy.
by one, I'll call you
You said,
Amaya, sit
and
down.
I think she went last because she was like, okay, so if I choose this person, then
Right.
this is what happen. And if I choose that person, all right, so there's no choice. I gotta choose Charlie. I can't vote for one of the black people. I can't vote for Taylor. I can't vote like
Tay
I'm
Tay,
sure
I
she
can't
thought
vote
it.
for Tay Tay.
Mm-mm,
That's what she
mm-mm,
calls Tay
mm-mm.
Tay.
Mary says, okay, can we humble Ace next with the vote? No, because the next person that needs to go is Austin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they're just keeping Austin again. I did a TikTok yesterday. They are keeping Austin with Shelly on purpose. They're trying to get the maggot to Casa so he can find his white woman. So and we need again. I need everybody to be on code. He needs to go.
He does need to go.
He needs to go. And I agree with King. Why humble Ace when he's half the drama in the villa? We always use the votes to humble women because the last time we did it sent Connor on dates. We did. That's not our fault. We didn't tell them to send in a girl bombshell this time. We told them to send in a boy bombshell, and they sent in two boys and a girl. We didn't do this. This was not our fault. I mean, hello. So I expect we're going to tomorrow. We're going to get Fallout.
Hmm.
It's going to be huge. I think this was a better dumping than Andrea dumping, to be honest. And
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a
yeah,
lot.
I'm excited to see tomorrow where we end up with the fallout.
Hmm.
Um,
Is the
this
graduation
is
tomorrow? Are you
no, it's
going?
Tuesday,
Oh, okay.
Tuesday. So, yeah, this is about to be the second coming of Mackenzie and Connor. I'm excited. That's what we voted for. But then after that, we will probably see a recoupling on Tuesday. I'm thinking, and then we vote and we dump somebody by Thursday, Friday. And then Casa hope possibly next week ish. Then we'll have like maybe 2 weeks left for the show. So that's my timeline. Mary says, I predict the next recoupling as Huda Jeremiah, Austin Shelley, Amaya Taylor, Nick Sierra, Iris, Ace, Jalen, Ola, Pepe, and Hannah, which two couples would be in the bottom two. I don't agree with all of this. I think Huda and Jeremiah will come back together. I definitely think Amaya will probably end up with Jalen because I think Ola is gonna choose Taylor. Nick and Sierra probably will stay together now because I just don't see them jeopardizing either one of their place before Casa. Um, Iris, she could end up with Ace or she could end up with Pepe for all I know. Um,
I would.
I don't know. I do wonder if Ace and Shelly will come pull up, but it's not looking good. Which is why I'm saying I think they're just trying to get Austin's maggot behind to Casa, or sending the girl before Casa to try to get Shelly dumped, but she's not going to get dumped. So yeah, if Amaya is with Taylor, she I think is safe. If she's with Jalen, though, it's concerning because they were both at the bottom of the app today for favorite girl and favorite boy. They weren't my bottom choice, but they were other people's bottom choice. While Taylor was number two to Nick. So Nick was one, Taylor was two.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, and Shelly was one and Alondra was two. So if he goes back, so like if we split the difference, yeah. If I think if we have to vote, Austin and Shelley will probably end up in the bottom though, because I don't. A lot of people aren't going to vote for her in Austin. They're going to want her to get split up from Austin. I'm not voting for her in Austin. I can't do it. She does not know anything about the stuff that he's said and done, and I can't in good conscience. I want her to stay, but I cannot in good conscience keep her in the villa with that man, even to get to Casa. Unfortunately, I I can't do it.
So who do the people wanted? Okay, so they're saying that the Islanders didn't make the right choice by dumping Charlie. They wanted Huda. Is that who
They
they
want
wanted? Is that why they're mad? Because they wanted Huda
or
gone?
Taylor, because they still think that Taylor has a girlfriend on the outside, and it's not true. She said that they were in a situationship, and then she deleted the entire account and all the details. So I don't even know
Oh
if
no,
that's true.
66% said they would have dumped Huda. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, they wanted her to. Um, so at the end of the day, unfortunately, Shelly's in danger if she stays with Austin because she will be one of the bottom two couples or three or whatever it is. My I'm hoping that Olandra goes back with Taylor so I can just use them as a vote. And then I could try to save Amaya and Jalen as well, but it's not looking good. if they don't get back together. So,
Mm.
um, and Mary agrees. Amaya and Jalen are in danger. And Rachel says the next enemy out is Austin. Rachel agrees that Shelly is stuck in a couple because Ace chose Amaya. This is his fault. I mean,
Absolutely.
fair. But we've got to figure out a way strategically to separate her from Austin. I think they're trying to protect him until till Casa at least, and then will choose a white woman. And hopefully, I don't think Shelly likes him, but
Yeah,
hopefully
no.
she would choose somebody else. I just don't know. She also gets a choice though. She might choose Ace, but not if he's like super duper exploring Iris.
Right. Yeah, yeah. She might.
So next we have Fallout, then our coupling, then we'll see what happens when we vote again. Guys, I don't know what people have been talking about. I'm enjoying the season.
Me
And I don't
too.
think about season 6 much.
Me neither. We'll get to see them on Beyond the Villa. I'm
Yes.
enjoying
So
this season of
I'm
Love
enjoying
Island.
this
Right.
season of Love Island, how it is. Thank you guys for joining me. I know it's late, and hope I will be here tomorrow for one episode. And then Tuesday I will not be here, so I will be back probably Wednesday. I have to see though, because I'm supposed to be going also someplace, but I will be back way before showtime. So I will let you guys know. So that's the target. Otherwise, I might have to double up on Thursday. But as always, you can follow me on Entertainment in Color on all social media platforms other than Twitter. Twitter, you can follow me at Entertain in Media. Miss TJ, where can the folks find you?
Misty Joy. On TikTok, Miss T Joy too, but on all the other social media platforms, it's just Miss T Joy.
Yes. And please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button just in case I don't get to put on socials when I will be back the next week. As I've said before, it's going to be a bit up and down with the schedule. But I'm trying to keep turning this out while we're here in season. Listen, I like the season so far. I like the characters. I think we're on a good pace. They let us shake up the villa. I'm excited to see the fallout. I'm so glad my guy Taylor didn't go home because I knew Alandra still wanted him. So
Yeah.
with that being said, I love you guys and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.